Chapter 57. Mu Qiqi watched as Mama Mu left with Mu Tongxue, but she did not care. She had once hoped that her mother would stand by her side and put in a good word for her so that her father would not blame her. But Mama Mu had always stood by Mu Tongxue's side. Now she wanted to know what tricks Mama Mu would play to protect Mu Tongxue. Now the students of the school finally knew why the twins had fallen out with each other to such an extent. Because human lives were at stake. They blamed each other, and Mu Qiqi was chased out of the Mu family because of that. Twins were born. From then on, the fates of the two sisters underwent an earth-shattering change. Qian Qian looked at Mu Qiqi after class, shaking her head. Your sister is such a pervert. She's so good at acting. No wonder you're the one chased out. That's in the past. Do you think I can tolerate her now? Mu Qiqi snorted coldly. Qian Qian smiled but said nothing and gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. Xing Xiao soon read Mu Qiqi's message, and his lips curled into a playful smile. Since Mu Tongxue was so unwittingly seeking her own death, he would certainly fulfill her wish. Wouldn't he be wasting her good intentions otherwise? Mu Tongxue had bullied Mu Qiqi for so long, and Xing Xiao had been waiting for this day for a long time. He had an agreement with Papa Mu that he could not reveal it, but now, if Mu Tongxue came to him on her own and he did not seize the chance, he would be letting down her good intentions. That was why he quickly called Jing Yun and had him call the police, and arrange for a lawyer and the media to make the Mu family pay the price. Soon, Papa Mu's secretary received a call from the police, saying that someone had reported a murder in the Mu family, and that the police were sending people to investigate the truth. Papa Mu's face fell at once. He rushed back to the Mu family without stopping, only to find that the police and the lawyer sent by Jing Yun were already waiting at the gates. Papa Mu had met the lawyer before. So he immediately told him, "You didn't abide by the contract. You said that these things wouldn't be made public." "Mr. Mu, don't get angry. This has nothing to do with us. It was your daughter, Miss Mu Tongxue, who leaked the news. She said such things in front of the whole school today. Miss Mu Qiqi has no choice but to ask us to report this to the police to prove her innocence," Mu Tongxue said. The lawyer appeared to be explaining, but in fact he was pushing all the blame to Mu Tongxue from the start. Papa Mu's face turned red when he heard that. He was probably furious. "You can suppress the matter. Mr. Mu, you have to know what kind of school Eton is. Every student has a powerful parent behind them. Do you think they can be suppressed if the news gets out?" The lawyer asked Papa Mu. "Be good. Please blame your daughter. Actually, we didn't want to come here." The lawyer was very smart. He shirked all responsibility very cleanly. Papa Mu suppressed his anger. All he cared about was whether this incident would be blown out of proportion and whether Mu Group would be implicated. And where was that evil girl now? How daring of him to disregard his words. Then the police asked about the incident. But Papa Mu told them, "There's no such thing. It's just a child's joke." "That won't do. What if your daughter slandered Miss Mu Qiqi in public again? What should we do then?" The lawyer did not let it go. "If you can't cooperate, Mr. Mu, we can only send you a subpoena." The lawyer meant that he would have to go to the judge anyway. He would not let the matter go so easily. Furious, Papa Mu called Mama Mu right away. "Why aren't you back yet? Bring that little bitch back. Look at what she has done." Mama Mu was trembling when she received the call. She was hiding with Mu Tongxue at Grandpa Mu's place. After school, Mu Qiqi got into old Lin's car. She hugged Su Zipei when she got home. "Aunt Zipei, good girl? You've suffered." Su Zipei could not help sighing. "Can I go out with Brother Xiao tonight? I want to know what happened to the Mu family and how Mu Tongxue is now." Mu Qiqi begged. "I'll come back before midnight to celebrate your birthday with you." "Silly girl. I've already received your gift. You can celebrate your birthday every day. Go." Su Zipei nodded. She knew that Xing Xiao was the only one who could help Mu Qiqi now. "Thank you, Aunt Zipei." Mu Qiqi called Xing Xiao and went to the revolving restaurant in the amusement park alone to wait for him. "Be a good girl and stay somewhere warm. You'll be punished severely if your hands turn cold," Xing Xiao replied. He then hurriedly dealt with the matter at hand so that his little one would not be worried. Mu Qiqi sat in front of the window of the revolving restaurant and watched the Ferris wheel turn slowly. Soon Xing Xiao arrived. Xing Xiao picked her up without a word and went to the VIP room, closing the door. "Didn't I tell you to stay somewhere warm? I want to be the first to see you," Mu Qiqi quickly explained. Xing Xiao lifted Mu Qiqi's chin and inhaled her fragrance out of habit. Then he took out his phone and showed Mu Qiqi everything that happened when the lawyer visited the Mu family today. "That's The lawyer recorded it secretly. Xing Xiao answered, wrapping his arms around Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi leaned against Xing Xiao's chest and watched the entire conversation between the lawyer and Papa Mu. Judging from Papa Mu's attitude, Mu Tongxue would be in deep trouble. If nothing goes wrong, the Mu family would come and beg for your forgiveness. You can ask for anything you want then. No, Mu Tongxue would think of another way to escape. Mu Qiqi knew Mu Tongxue well. She would definitely find another way. Don't you understand, little one? You just have to watch the show no matter what Mu Tongxue wants to do. That's true. Mu Qiqi couldn't help smiling brightly. Xiao Xiao, can I prove my innocence if they pursue this matter? Why are you hugging and kissing me if you want to prove your innocence? Xing Xiao put down his phone and looked at her dangerously. You're going to get even more unclean soon? And Mu Qiqi understood the hint. Her face reddened even more. Chapter 58. Seizing the chance, Xing Xiao pinched her chin and kissed her deeply. Then he let go of Mu Qiqi so that she could breathe freely. If it weren't for the fact that you're still a little thing, the place I've brought you to wouldn't be a playground. Xing Xiao never hid his desire in front of Mu Qiqi. It was the most direct expression of a man's interest in a woman. Although Mu Qiqi was shy, could she swear that she didn't like Xing Xiao when he behaved like that? Clearly she had always been infatuated with him, hence, Mu Qiqi kissed him on her own. Xing Xiao caught her lips and teased her as he pleased. Mu Tongxue was not as happy as Mu Qiqi. That night, she hid in her grandfather's house because she did not have the courage to return to the Mu family. After Grandpa Mu's wife passed away, he knew that Mu Qiqi was chased out of the family. But he did not say anything because he had not gotten over the grief of his wife's death. Now Mu Tongxue did not dare to return home because she blamed Mu Qiqi. Moreover, Mama Mu kept adding fuel to the fire in front of Grandpa Mu. That was why Grandpa Mu's misunderstanding of Mu Qiqi deepened. It had only been a short time since they last met, but the little girl had already caused so much trouble. Still, could the great Mu family not be able to do anything to a little girl? Soon, Papa Mu arrived at his father's house. He asked to see him and bring his wife and daughter with him. Grandpa Mu stood in the living room leaning on his walking stick. He straightened his back and said to his son, Tongxue has told me everything. Why don't you think of a way to shut her up? Why are you making things difficult for Tongxue? She wouldn't have said anything wrong if Mu Qiqi didn't bully her in school. In the end, you have to take responsibility as a father. Dad. Papa Mu called out helplessly. Tongxue is the young lady of the Mu family now. You only have one daughter. Why aren't you doting on her? Why are you scolding her all the time? Haven't you let Mu Qiqi bully her enough? If you don't treat Tongxue well in the future, you should be prepared to hand over the management of Mu Group to your brothers. Dad, I'll definitely change. Papa Mu quickly lowered his head and admitted his mistake. As for Mu Qiqi, she is an outsider now that she has left the Mu family. As Mu Tongxue's father, you should stand on her side. How could you let an outsider benefit? Papa Mu was implying that whatever Mu Tongxue did wrong, it was all Mu Qiqi's fault. Because his family would never be in the wrong. Papa Mu understood what Grandpa Mu meant. He even promised that he would watch his words from now on. He would never hit or scold Mu Tongxue again. Also, why do you need to be polite when dealing with outsiders? Grandpa Mu hated Mu Qiqi because his beloved wife was killed by Mu Qiqi. At least, in his stubborn mind, he preferred to believe in Mu Tongxue, whom his wife loved since she was young. Mu Qiqi leaving the Mu family and going against them only proved that Mu Qiqi was an ingrate through and through. She did not deserve to be treated kindly by the Mu family at all. That was why he told Papa Mu directly, you don't have to be polite with outsiders. There's no need for me to teach you how to deal with a child, right? There's no need for that, Dad. Then bring your wife and daughter home. I'll hold you responsible if Mu Group's shares drop because of Mu Qiqi. Papa Mu could not disobey Grandpa Mu. He could only bring Mu Tongxue and Mama Mu home with a dark face. Although he did not scold them verbally, he gave them the best warning. If you go out and cause trouble again, I don't care if you are hiding in Dad's house or not. You will be kicked out of the house just like Mu Qiqi. I'll let you go this time. But there won't be a next time. Mu Tongxue's face was pale. Fortunately, Papa Mu did not do anything. Mama Mu protected her daughter. After they entered the room, she told Mu Tongxue, it's all right, Grandpa helped us. Mommy, I really hate my sister. Why is she always haunting me? Why does she always snatch everything from me? Mu Tongxue hugged Mama Mu and sobbed in her arms. She was scared out of her wits today. Papa Mu would have attacked her if Grandpa Mu was not there. Mama Mu was full of resentment towards Mu Chichi. Since she had left the Mu family, she should not go against the Mu family. Otherwise everyone would suffer. Don't be afraid, Shui. Mommy will think of a way for you. Now, the Mu family was the passive party. And Mu Chichi wanted to get to the bottom of the matter. That was why Papa Mu had to find Mu Chichi so that the Mu family shares would not be affected. Whether it was through threats, manipulations, or other means, he would not let a little girl like Mu Chichi turn the world upside down. Therefore, when Mama Mu returned to her room, Papa Mu suddenly asked her, "Mu Chichi, are you depending on your sister now?" "Yes." Mama Mu nodded. "What about Zipe? Perhaps she would learn to be obedient if she has no one to depend on." Papa Mu did not say what he was going to do. But it was clear that he was going to do something to Zipe. However, the Mu family did not know that they were not only dealing with Mu Chichi and Zipe. Xing Xiao was also behind them. That night, as usual, Mu Chichi stayed with Xing Xiao until late at night before returning to the little mansion. Su Zipe was worried about the Mu family's reaction. Meanwhile, Mu Chichi showed Su Zipe the recording Xiao Xiao had given her as a sign of completion. Su Zipe had been worried that the Mu family would play dirty against Mu Chichi again. After all, Mu Chichi was just a child, and the Mu family were all on Mu Tongshue's side. "Chichi, I have a feeling that the Mu family would be fooled by Mu Tongshue's tears unless you could prove that Mu Tongshue was the one who killed your grandmother. Think about it. The whole family loves Mu Tongshue and hates you. Now that you've blown things up, the Mu family would hate you even more. Aunt Zipe, I'm not worried at all that the Mu family would do anything to me. I have you and brother Xiao now." Mu Chichi told Su Zipe determinedly. "You know that Mu Tongshue was the one who started so many incidents. This time, I won't let her get away with it so easily no matter what." Chapter 59. Aunt Zipe, brother Xiao wouldn't abandon us. Mu Chichi told Su Zipe confidently. She was completely unaware that Papa Mu had made Su Zipe a target. Papa Mu had learned from Mama Mu about Su Zipe's daily schedule and where she would go for groceries. That was why he had arranged for someone to stalk and harass Su Zipe. His methods were unorthodox, but they were usually enough to deal with women. Old Lin was there to fetch Mu Chichi to school. Moreover, Mama Mu had tried to snatch Mu Chichi away before, which was why Old Lin was very guarded against such things. That was why it was not easy for Papa Mu to do anything to Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi went to school the next day. When she arrived, she heard from her classmates that Papa Mu had personally sent Mu Tongshue to school, and was now in the teacher's office. Mu Chichi had already guessed that Mu Tongshue could escape Papa Mu's scolding. They were a family now, and Papa Mu would only side with Mu Tongshue no matter what she did. Holding her phone, Mu Chichi thought about her aunt and Xing Xiao. At the moment, it was her entire world and both worlds could collapse at any moment. But so what? As expected, Mu Chichi was called into the teacher's office again. But this time, Papa Mu was not as arrogant and cold as before. "Chichi, I've discussed it with your father. It wouldn't be good for both you and Tongshue to blow up the matter regarding your grandmother. That's why we think it's best to minimize the problem." The teacher adjusted her spectacles and told Mu Chichi. "You're right, Chichi. Tongshue didn't mean it and we shouldn't bring it up now that it's over. You and Tongshue are about to take your exams, and it's better to focus on preparing for them." Papa Mu agreed with the teacher. "I really want to focus on my exams, but Mu Tongshue wouldn't let it go. If I let her do it, who's going to care if she blabbers again?" Mu Chichi said stiffly. "Moreover, since it's legal proceedings and the police have been called, let's do as they say. It's fine if you believe Mu Tongshue. I'll let the police investigate. Your grandmother has passed away for so long. There's no need to pursue this matter any further. You were chased out by your own parents, and you say you won't pursue the matter? That's too easy." Mu Chichi insisted. "All these years you've always sided with Mu Tongshue and never treated me fairly. If that's the case, I'll find justice myself." Chichi, stop fooling around. The teacher was getting anxious. "Your exam is more important now." "It's fine, teacher. Since she wants fairness, let her pursue it. As long as she doesn't regret it, it's fine. I'll be troubling you to take care of our Tang Shui." With that, Papa Mu did not continue the discussion with Mu Chichi. He was not here to discuss it with Mu Chichi anyway. Therefore he got up and left the school. Then the teacher looked at Mu Chichi and couldn't help sighing. "Chichi, don't get your life wrong. The most important thing for you now is to get into an important school, and not compete with Mu Tongshue in those aspects. Teacher, you're not the one who's being framed, but your parents clearly trust Mu Tongshue more than you do. Have you ever thought that they wouldn't stand on your side? If you go to court, wouldn't they stand by Mu Tongshue's side and accuse you? A daughter who was chased out was abandoned like an old shoe. Don't you get it? Even if you prove your innocence, it would mean nothing to your parents because they adore Mu Tongxue more. They would tolerate her no matter how many wrongs she has done. You would always lose when it comes to your parents. You have to work hard and be more useful than Mu Tongxue in the future. You would create more value than Mu Tongxue, and only then would your parents truly regret it. I really want to ask why there are such parents in this world when I see you like this. But, there are such parents in this world. Didn't you see the news? There are mothers who would dismember their daughters into dozens of pieces. What's more, they would abandon you. At those words, her teacher put a hand on Mu Qiqi's shoulder and told her, "Listen to me. Teach Mu Tongxue a lesson while your parents can still negotiate. Don't overdo it and keep a low profile. There are still many chances in the future. You're an adult now, Qiqi." Mu Qiqi was moved by her teacher's words. She knew that her teacher was truly thinking for her own good, and that if she continued to argue with Mu Tongxue about the culprit, both of them would suffer in the end. Moreover, the Mu family might come up with more devious tricks to deal with her and her aunt. Still, she was very unwilling to accept the fact that Mu Tongxue had accused her of her grandmother's murder in front of the entire school. Was there really no way to find evidence for this matter? Mu Qiqi had many thoughts on that day, especially when she saw Mu Tongxue. Their eyes met, and the hatred between them was so obvious that even bystanders could feel it. Still, Mu Tongxue did not bother Mu Qiqi that day, and the two acted as if the other did not exist. Still, when Mu Qiqi returned home from school, she noticed that her aunt's expression was not good. "Aunt Zipe, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well?" "No, you must be seeing things." Su Zipe quickly explained, touching her face. "What's with the scratch on the back of your hand?" Mu Qiqi quickly asked, grabbing Su Zipe's hand. Su Zipe sighed and eventually told Mu Qiqi about being stalked and harassed today. Mu Qiqi knew whose masterpiece it was. Or rather, everyone knew it. It was just a warning from the Mu family. "I'm sorry, Aunt Zipe. You have to go through all this because of me." Su Zipe patted Mu Qiqi on the shoulder and comforted her. "It's fine, Aunt Zipe. Just be careful when you go out." Unable to hold back, Mu Qiqi whipped out her phone and dialed Xing Xiao's number. "Brother Xiao, I want to see you." Xing Xiao could hear the aggrieved tone in Mu Qiqi's voice over the phone, and promptly told everyone in the meeting, "The meeting is over for today. We'll continue tomorrow." Everyone looked at each other, but none of them could do anything about the crown prince, and could only watch as he rose and left the meeting room. It would be weird if he was in the mood for a meeting when his little one was being bullied. Therefore Xing Xiao drove straight to the little mansion. Meanwhile, Mu Qiqi and Su Zipe were sitting in the living room, both of them looking terrible. "What is it?" Xing Xiao asked, holding back the urge to grab the little one and give her a spanking. "What happened?" "So, Brother Xiao, I don't want to pursue the matter of the murderer anymore. I don't have the ability to retaliate, and all I can do now is cause Aunt Zipe pain. That is why I agreed to the Mu family's suggestion to minimize the problem, but I have one request." "Are you sure?" Xing Xiao asked in return. "When I grow up and have the ability, I will make the Mu family regret what they did today. And now, my only request is to get Mu Tongxue out of my sight. Brother Xiao, help me become strong. I beg you." Chapter 60. Come out. Xing Xiao did not say anything else but ordered Mu Qiqi. Su Zipe knew that Mu Qiqi's emotions were unstable right now, and she trusted Xing Xiao. That was why she let Mu Qiqi follow him. He would definitely be able to comfort her. So Su Zipe pushed Mu Qiqi's shoulder and told her, "Go. Talk to young Master Sheng." Mu Qiqi got up from Su Zipe's side and followed Xing Xiao. They got into Xing Xiao's sports car one after the other, and soon the car left the little mansion. It was getting late and the street lights were already lit up on both sides of the road. Xing Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to the revolving restaurant, and when they entered the VIP room, he pressed her down on the wooden table and glared at her. "Don't be Xing Xiao's woman if you show such a pitiful expression." Mu Qiqi was stunned. "If you give in so easily, would you agree to anyone who threatens you to leave me in the future?" "I'm not." Mu Qiqi quickly denied. "Look at me." Xing Xiao held Mu Qiqi's chin. "Say it again." "You're not?" "That's different." Mu Qiqi answered firmly. Xing Xiao let go of Mu Qiqi's hands and straightened. "Is that so? But I don't really believe it now." In that instant, Mu Qiqi mustered her courage out of nowhere and suddenly wrapped her legs around Xing Xiao's narrow waist to stop him from leaving. "I won't give up on you even if I die, Xiao Xiao." Xing Xiao was afraid that Mu Qiqi would be so easily swayed at such a young age. After all, she was the one who dragged her into hell. I won't. You have to believe me. I won't. Mu Qiqi repeated, I won't, a few times. She was also very emotional. Don't doubt my feelings for you. I'll be sad if you do. Xing Xiao picked Mu Qiqi up and made her sit on him. Then he stared at her little face and asked for a kiss. They kissed for a long time, so long that Mu Qiqi could clearly feel her lips swollen. But the man did not stop and did not let her go. His warm hand even reached out to touch a certain part of her chest. Mu Qiqi blushed immediately. The strange feeling made her flinch. You are not allowed to escape. This is your punishment. Mu Qiqi did not dare to move. She opened her eyes and looked at the handsome face in front of her. Actually, it did not feel bad, but she was very shy. Xiao Xiao, promise me. Aunt Zipei was followed by the Mu family today. I can't protect her now. I'm worried. Are you going to suffer this loss for nothing? Xing Xiao squinted at her and asked teasingly. It's not a free meal. Just as you said, I can ask for many things. Mu Qiqi said seriously. Xiao Xiao, there's still a long way to go. In the end, what was the reason for his anger? It was nothing more than the little thing suffering a loss. I don't care anymore. Xing Xiao heaved a sigh of relief. Although he was not satisfied with the sex just now, he said, let's go and take a look at the houses near Xingting University. When the time comes, decorate them according to the style you like. But there's still half a year. Mu Qiqi felt that this man was very anxious. Half a year will pass in the blink of an eye. Moreover, didn't you just beg me to make you stronger? How much free time do you think you will have after you have all kinds of training classes? Xing Xiao asked. He lifted her chin and said to her dangerously, you probably don't know how much I want to eat you up right now. Are you so sure that I can get into Xingting University? I know you better than you do. Xing Xiao said and put Mu Qiqi down from his arms. If he kept hugging her, he could not guarantee that he would not do something terrible to her. Mu Qiqi took the opportunity to sit opposite Xing Xiao. She reached out and touched her thin lips. I've bitten them. You've taken advantage of me. Mu Qiqi lowered her head when she remembered that they still had half a year to live together. After a while, she said to Xing Xiao, why don't we stay in a hotel tonight? Mu Qiqi, do you know what you're talking about? Xing Xiao asked her coldly. It's just a matter of time anyway. Don't regret it. Did Xing Xiao mean that he had agreed? Mu Qiqi thought that she could just go home in the middle of the night. Anyway, Su Zipei was not worried about her staying with Xing Xiao. But she did not know that the safest and most trusted person was actually the most dangerous. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi playfully. Did this little one make such a suggestion because she was still young and naive? Or did she really like him that much? After dinner, Xing Xiao left with Mu Qiqi. But he did not bring her to a hotel. Instead, he brought her back to the small mansion. Xiao Xiao, go upstairs and sleep. I promise you what you said. Xing Xiao pushed her from behind. Then, he whispered in her ear when Su Zipei was not paying attention. If you say something so casual to others in the future, I swear I've only been with you. Mu Qiqi quickly explained. You want to give me your body now? Little one? Before Mu Qiqi could say anything, Xing Xiao had already let her go and let her go upstairs to rest. Mu Qiqi wondered if she had made Xiao Xiao think that she was being too casual. But that was not what she meant. So when she returned to her room, she immediately texted Xing Xiao. Xiao Xiao, I'm not like that to everyone. I'm only with you. I think I can do anything for you. Xing Xiao was touched when he read the message. He knew that he had a girl in her best years, and most of the feelings he had back then were unwavering. So, Xing Xiao replied directly, do you dare to do that to anyone? Mu Qiqi laughed when she read the reply. Su Zipei knocked on the door and entered Mu Qiqi's room. What did young Master Xing say? Aunt Zipei, Brother Xiao agrees with what I'm doing. I won't fight Mu Tongxue to the end this time, but I will put forward some conditions for the Mu family. Mu Qiqi replied. That's how it should be. Su Zipei nodded. Then rest well tonight, but what did young Master Xing bring you to eat? Your mouth is so swollen. It's spicy. Mu Qiqi quickly cooperated. Aunt Zipei, can you help me find some medicine? Qiqi, it's almost time for your college entrance exam. You must do your best. Mu Qiqi knew what Su Zipei was looking forward to, and Xing Xiao agreed to teach her all sorts of lessons. She must train herself to be the strongest she could be. Not only that, she must be brave. Chapter 61. Having decided to minimize the problem, Mu Chichi had Su Zipe contact the Mu family and express her thoughts. But, she had a request. Although Papa Mu was angry, at least Mu Chichi was willing to give in. Let's see how big her appetite was. When Mama Mu knew that Mu Chichi had a request, she tried to persuade Mu Tongxue. No matter what request your sister makes, you must agree to it. Don't go against your father. There are only a few months left before the National College entrance examination. I hope that you can behave yourself until you get into a top university. Mommy, I am not confident that I can get into Xingting University. And with my current results, I might not be able to get into Xingting University. Mu Tongxue explained. I had a good talk with your father last night. You are the daughter of the Mu family, and everything in the Mu family belongs to you from now on. That is why you really don't have to go against Mu Chichi everywhere. You would lose your father's trust if you beat her, and that would not be worth it. Most importantly, your father will bring you to all kinds of banquets soon. You will meet a lot of talented young men. You are not in the same class as Mu Chichi. You must remember that you are degrading yourself by going against her. Do you understand? Yes, Mommy. Also, we can do something about the National College entrance examination. Mu Chichi's results were stable and she was always one of the best. If Mu Chichi performed well during the National College entrance examination, she would bribe the invigilator for Mu Tongxue. Then she would change Mu Chichi's name into Mu Tongxue's when they collect the exam papers. Let the two of them swap places. That way Mu Tongxue would have a 90% chance of getting into Xingting University. Of course, Mama Mu only had a rough idea. She had not decided whether she would use it or not. So she did not tell Mu Tongxue and the others. Let's see what Mu Chichi wants tomorrow. On the other hand, Xing Xiao had decided to be with Mu Chichi after half a year. So, he had to start planning to move out of the Sheng family. So, he told Mama Sheng about his idea. Mama Sheng was reluctant. You don't want to live in such a big mansion. Why do you want to move out? Mom, when will you have a daughter-in-law when you go home every day? Xing Xiao asked. When Mama Sheng heard that, she felt that it made sense. It's fine if you want to move out. But, I have to help you choose and decorate the house. As you wish. Xing Xiao pushed Mama Sheng out of the door. I'll wait for your news. Then Xing Xiao returned to the sofa, holding the ugly cufflinks that Mu Chichi had given him. For such a small thing he had done everything he could and could do. He had thought of all the things that he shouldn't have done and thought of. But even if he was not accepted by everyone, he was determined to have that adorable little thing. Nonetheless, Mu Chichi did not sleep well that night. She dreamed that Mu Tongxue had come to snatch Xiao Xiao away from her. Because of that, Mu Chichi woke up in the middle of the night. She sat on the bed and kept calling Xing Xiao's name. It was 3 in the morning. Mu Chichi did not want to disturb his rest, but still sent him a message. Xiao Xiao, could you not recognize me in Mu Tongxue? I had a dream just now. Mu Tongxue pretended to be me and snatched you away. Of course, there was no reply on the other side of the phone. But about 40 minutes later, Xing Xiao suddenly replied. Come downstairs. Mu Chichi sat up on the bed and looked out of the window. When she saw Xing Xiao's car downstairs, she quickly rushed out of the door. Did I wake you up? Xing Xiao hugged her under the moonlight. Do you think that everyone in the world has the same IQ as you? I didn't want to have such a dream. Xing Xiao got into the car with Mu Chichi. Then he let her straddle him and lay on his chest. Sleep. Here? Mu Chichi exclaimed in surprise. You don't want to? I do. I do. Mu Chichi quickly answered. Xiao Xiao, tell me the truth. How did you distinguish me from Mu Tongxue? If I had a twin brother, would you not be able to recognize me? Xing Xiao asked her in return. How is that possible? Everyone has their own unique smell. I couldn't have mistaken you for someone else. Then why are you asking me? Mu Chichi thought about it and came up with a compromise. Why don't I get a tattoo? That way you wouldn't mistake me for someone else. I'll tattoo your name on my chest. This time Xing Xiao did not say anything. In fact, Mu Chichi mentioned something that interested him. Mu Chichi's words would fully satisfy a man's possessiveness. Still, wouldn't tattooing her name on her chest be the same as announcing it to the world? Moreover, there was no beauty to it. At that thought, Xing Xiao certainly felt that it was time to change Mu Chichi's image. That was why, while Mu Chichi was asleep, Xing Xiao reached out to stroke Mu Chichi's inky hair, while thinking about how to make her tattoo look good. And where should he tattoo it? What an irresistible little thing. Naturally, Mu Chichi could not keep sleeping on Xing Xiao's body. At 6 in the morning, before Su Zipe woke up, Mu Chichi hurried home. Before she left, Sheng Xiao had told her many things to take note of about her request to Papa Mu. Since it was Mu Chichi's choice, he would respect the little one even if he did not agree and did not like to force her. Su Zipei was completely unaware that Mu Chichi was spending the night outside. After waking up, she made breakfast for Mu Chichi and woke her up for school. Mu Chichi was in high spirits. With Sheng Xiao's company, she unknowingly endured the pain the Mu family had inflicted on her. After breakfast, Mu Chichi was escorted by old Lin to Eton. Meanwhile, Papa Mu's car was already waiting outside Eton's gates. Mu Chichi got into Papa Mu's car and told him, "Aunt Zipei has told you that I agree to resolve this matter. But that doesn't mean I'll let Mu Tongxue go. You have to agree to my conditions if you want me to resolve this matter once and for all." "You first." Papa Mu told Mu Chichi. "First, Mu Tongxue has to change classes. I don't want to see her acting in front of me all day." "All right." Papa Mu nodded. "Second, if Mu Tongxue bothers me again, the Mu family is not to interfere when I seek revenge on her. You have to sign an agreement with me." "All right." Papa Mu nodded again. Chapter 62. Papa Mu couldn't help chuckling coldly at Mu Chichi's words. "Chichi, you're still a child. Why do you have so many tricks up your sleeve? You've really changed my opinion. Just tell me. Do you agree or not? I don't want to talk about other things." Mu Chichi did not want to talk to Papa Mu anymore. No, not even a word more than that. "It's fine if you want Mu Tongxue to apologize. But slapping herself? Is that necessary?" "It is necessary," Mu Chichi said firmly. "I want her to remember not to mess with me because she would pay the price sooner or later." Papa Mu was silent for a few seconds. Then he nodded. "I promise you. But you have to promise me that you won't tell anyone about this from now on. I don't want the media to know about it. Don't worry about that. I'm not as untrustworthy as others." With that, Mu Chichi got out of Papa Mu's car. But before she left, she reminded him, "Remember to slap yourself to apologize." "I know." Papa Mu had no choice but to nod. After all, it was his priority to appease Mu Chichi. Mu Tongxue was the one who caused the trouble. Hence, she should be taught a lesson to remind her not to say anything in the future. "Then I'll wait for her apology." With that, Mu Chichi shouldered her backpack and entered Eton's main gate. Meanwhile, Papa Mu stared at Mu Chichi's back with a meaningful look. Then he told his driver, "Get Mu Tongxue out." "Sir, are you really going to let Miss Mu Tongxue in front of the whole school? What else? After all, it's only in school. It's good for her to be taught a lesson. If she were to be schemed against by others in the future in the business world, she would have to break her teeth and swallow the consequences. Winner takes all. This has been the case since ancient times." Papa Mu replied. In fact, as long as Mu Tongxue was not involved in Mu Group, he would not care if Mu Tongxue was wronged. Soon Mu Tongxue left the school gate, her face pale. She got into her father's car. "Dad, you were looking for me? I've talked to your sister just now. She's willing to keep the peace. But she has a few conditions and all of them are against you." Mu Tongxue knew that Mu Chichi would definitely teach her a lesson now that she had the chance. "Dad, just say it. I'm fine. First, she wants you to transfer to another class. Second, she wants you to never appear in front of her again and never provoke her. Third, she wants you to slap yourself in the face and apologize to her in front of everyone." Mu Tongxue could already guess Papa Mu's answer after hearing his nonchalant words. He would definitely agree to Mu Chichi. "Tongxue, I know it. But I have no choice. You are Daddy's darling. You will definitely help Daddy solve this problem, right? Mu Group will to you." She looked at her. "Dad, Mu Tongxue Mu. That's good. I'll wait for your good news." Mu Tongxue was upset. But she could not do anything about it. Apart from hating Mu Chichi, her father was now added to her list of enemies. Mu Chichi always had someone to take the blame for her when she was still around. That was why she never knew that Papa Mu would treat his own flesh and blood like this. No wonder Mu Chichi did not want to come back. But she would not be as weak as Mu Chichi. She would not leave the Mu family. Because she would get everything from the Mu family in the end. Then she would chase all the people she hated away. She would also chase Mu Chichi out of the country and never let her in again. Wasn't it just a slap and an apology? Who wouldn't? After returning to the classroom, Mu Tongxue walked up to Mu Chichi. Before Mu Chichi could react, she suddenly slapped herself and apologized to Mu Chichi. "Sister, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have said something like that. Please forgive me." "Didn't you say that I killed Grandma?" Mu Chichi turned around and asked Mu Tongxue. I was just angry. That's why I said it. I'm innocent. Please forgive me. I won't say anything like that again. Qian's eyes widened when she saw Mu Tangxue suddenly apologizing to Mu Qiqi. She did not expect to see such a scene. What a long time to be alive. Speak louder. I can't hear you. Mu Qiqi demanded. Mu Tangxue slapped herself again, this time with an even louder voice. Sister, please forgive me. It's my fault for talking nonsense and causing you to be misunderstood by everyone. You didn't kill Grandma. I've wronged you. What? This time the whole class heard it. Then he sighed. Mu Qiqi was finally satisfied. She stood up and said to Mu Tangxue, if you provoke me again, I can be even more ruthless. It's not a big deal. I'm sorry, sister. Get out of my sight. Mu Tangxue did not meet anyone's gaze. She lowered her head and returned to her seat. Soon the teacher came in and announced that Mu Tangxue would be transferred to Class 5. She was told to pack her things and personally escorted her out. White Lotus Mu is finally gone. Feels like the air in the classroom is so fresh now. Qian stretched lazily. She was very happy. Qiqi, how did you make that White Lotus apologize to you? It's nothing special. It's just a self-inflicted wound to kill 1,000 enemies. Mu Qiqi replied. And do you think she could stop her scheming mind? I humiliated her today. In the future she would only come at me with more vicious methods. It's just that now is not the right time. It's really complicated between you sisters. Still, it's good that she's transferred. At least, out of sight, out of mind, right? Xiao had said that there would be many classes waiting for her. That was why she did not have the time to entertain Mu Tangxue. She had said that she must become stronger. She would never let the Mu family step over her. Once the bell rang, Mu Qiqi headed out of the classroom. Perhaps the news of Mu Tangxue slapping Mu Qiqi as an apology had spread. The other students were now looking at Mu Qiqi strangely. Still, she did not care. Mu Qiqi pretended not to see Mama Mu, who had come to pick Mu Tangxue up at the school gates. They brushed past each other. Chapter 63. After that, Mu Qiqi got into old Lin's car and returned to the little mansion. The foreign teacher was already there. Xiao was a man of his word. Su Zipei said to her, Qiqi, your grades are good enough. You still have to go through training after school. Can you handle it? Aunt Zipei, I have to be good at everything to be of my greatest value. Mu Qiqi replied. All right. Young Master Sheng will come to see you later. He said that he's taking you out for dinner. Mu Qiqi couldn't help chuckling at Su Zipei's words. Xiao was getting better at using his position for personal gain. Recently, he had taken her out to do bad things under the pretext of advising her. Mu Qiqi didn't think much about it. She returned to her room to change her clothes and went to the study. Aside from studying, there was also music, chess, calligraphy and high-class etiquette. Mu Qiqi didn't want to lose her socialite temperament after leaving the Mu family and losing that environment. In fact, she didn't want Xing Xiao to be a joke in the future. After an hour of wine lessons, Mu Qiqi sent her teacher downstairs. She found Xing Xiao sitting in the living room, looking as if he was in a painting. Qiqi, what are you looking at? Young Master Sheng has been waiting for you. Su Zipei quickly said. He's so busy. Don't keep wasting his time. I'll come down right after I change. No need. Xing Xiao closed the high school textbook he was flipping through and gestured with his eyes for Mu Qiqi to leave. Mu Qiqi nodded and followed behind him. Once Mu Qiqi got into the car, Xing Xiao put his arm around her neck and kissed her on the lips. Xiao, I'm taking you to change your image today. Xing Xiao drove Mu Qiqi to a high-class image management center. To avoid being recognized, Xing Xiao purposely wore a pair of black glasses to hide his dangerous aura, making him look a little more refined. Then Xing Xiao discussed with the stylist what style he should give Mu Qiqi. She was still a high school student after all, and the stylist suggested that Mu Qiqi should look befitting of her status. That was why the stylist gave her a beautiful medium-short haircut and dyed it maroon, before slightly perming the ends of her hair. In the process, the stylist kept praising Xing Xiao. I've never seen such a dedicated brother. If he wasn't her brother, could he be her boyfriend? Of course, Mu Qiqi would never reveal their relationship. She simply sat quietly and peeked at Xing Xiao through the mirror. What was he drawing? 2 hours later, a brand new Mu Qiqi appeared before Xing Xiao. Sir, you have good taste. I have to say this style really suits your sister. The stylist finished and applied some lipstick on Mu Qiqi's lips. Meanwhile, Xing Xiao stared at Mu Qiqi's thin, tender lips, reluctant to look away for some time. So, brother, how is it? Xing Xiao withdrew his gaze and nodded. Not bad. Mu Qiqi liked the flamboyant smell too, because it matched Xing Xiao's temperament very well. Then they left the image management center together. But before they reached the parking lot, Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and pressed her against a dark corner, kissing her uncontrollably. Ugh. Mu Qiqi was startled and quickly responded. It was only when both of them could not breathe that Xing Xiao let go of Mu Qiqi and led her to the sports car. I couldn't bring you to the Xing family's designer shop because I can't expose my identity, Xing Xiao explained. It's fine. It's good enough here. Mu Qiqi replied. But why are we in such a hurry? Do you want to see me embarrass myself? Xing Xiao said quickly. Mu Qiqi did not understand what he meant at first, and only blushed when her gaze fell below. She did not expect that the man would lose control like that after just one kiss. After returning to the car, Xing Xiao closed his eyes and calmed himself for a few seconds before bringing Mu Qiqi to the next place. Seeing that it was already late, Mu Qiqi said, "Why don't we go another day? I want to see the effect now." Mu Qiqi had no idea where Xing Xiao was taking her. She could only stay where she was. Then Xing Xiao brought her to a quiet and elegant place. It was a small courtyard that was decorated in a Japanese style. Soon, a woman with a tattoo on her arm came out. She smiled when she saw Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi. "You two must be my special guest today, right? I heard that you are the best tattoo artist in Jianchuan, so I made an appointment to come here." "I know. That's why I'm waiting for you too. But I have a question. What's your relationship with me? You should know that a tattoo is something that will last for a lifetime. It's very painful to wash it off. I've had many guests here. They would get the tattoo and wash it after that. So, I hope you two can be careful and avoid physical pain." The female tattoo artist in her 30s asked them. "Brother and sister?" Mu Qiqi replied. "Lovers?" Xing Xiao replied. Mu Qiqi and the tattoo artist were stunned when they heard the word, lovers. "Little girl, are you still a student?" "She's my possession," Xing Xiao replied. The tattoo artist smiled. She was smart enough not to ask further. Since they were high-class guests, she just needed to take care of them. "What kind of tattoo do you want? Where do you want it?" Xing Xiao gave the tattoo artist the drawing he had just drawn. "This is the English abbreviation of our names. You just need to make a sample according to the size I gave you." She had to admit that Xing Xiao's English handwriting was really beautiful. Moreover, it was just a normal size. Mu Qiqi did not have to suffer much. "Then where should I tattoo?" Xing Xiao walked to Mu Qiqi. He used his index finger to lift the hair on Mu Qiqi's right ear. He looked at her earlobe and said, "Here." It was tattooed on the edge of her earlobe. It was like wearing a ring earring. It was not very eye-catching. But it was very unique. "It's so special." The tattoo artist nodded. She could not help but admire Xing Xiao's suggestion. It looked like a stamp. This kind of naked possessiveness really gave people goosebumps. But it was also very enviable. "What about you, sir?" Xing Xiao let go of Mu Qiqi. Then he turned around and pointed at his left collarbone. "Here." It could be hidden with a shirt. It was very convenient. But as long as he thought about it, he would be able to touch it. It was good. "Xiao Xiao, you want it too?" Mu Qiqi was shocked. "What? You don't want to use your name?" Xing Xiao looked at her dangerously. Chapter 64. "Since the two of you have decided, please enter our workshop." The tattoo artist said to the two, "Little girls, don't be afraid. Your location is on your earlobe and the area of the tattoo isn't big so it won't hurt. Don't worry." Mu Qiqi grabbed Xing Xiao's hand. Her palms were already sweating. Xing Xiao patted her head with his other hand and snorted. "I'm here. What are you afraid of?" "I'm just nervous." Mu Qiqi replied. "I'm so nervous." But at the same time she was very excited. There would be an unbreakable connection between her and Xing Xiao, and there would be a strong sense of belonging in her heart. She was Xing Xiao's and Xing Xiao belonged to her alone. It was a private property marked with his name. Then the two of them entered the tattoo studio. At this time the tattoo artist said to the two of them, "Please sit down." Moreover, tattooing each other's names on each other's body is like exchanging rings. I don't know if you feel this way, it's very sweet. Under the soft light, Mu Qiqi stole a glance at Xing Xiao. Did Xiao Xiao feel that way too? Was he happy? Soon the tattoo artist had finished drawing the tattoo. Then she made a pattern for Mu Qiqi according to Xing Xiao's request. Because it was just a delicate English letter, no one could understand the meaning behind it. If Muchichi didn't want others to see it, she could just wear a slightly bigger earring to cover it up. It was very convenient. Still, she did not intend to cover it up since she had already gotten it. Because others might not know, but she knew very well that it was Xing Zhao's English name. Following that, the tattooist disinfected and applied the needle. For them, a small picture like this could be done in less than 10 minutes. Muchichi did not dare to look at her earlobe and could only look at Xing Zhao's body. In no time at all, exquisite letters were tattooed on her earlobe. A few small letters appeared on the edge of her earlobe in a regular pattern. It was really beautiful. That way you'll have one more distinct mark than Mu Tongxue. She wouldn't be able to imitate you. She didn't have to worry that others wouldn't be able to tell them apart. It turned out that Xing Zhao had kept her dream in his heart. No matter what, he could tell Muchichi apart. Because Muchichi had answered his question before. A person's smell and breathing pattern could not be replicated. But to make Muchichi feel at ease, he immediately brought Muchichi to get a tattoo. Then Xing Zhao unbuttoned his shirt and lay down on the chair, looking very unbridled and lazy. Even the tattoo artist was amazed. A man like Xing Zhao could easily get any kind of woman he wanted. However, his taste seemed to lean towards the younger ones. The one below your collarbone will be slightly bigger. Will look better this way. It won't hurt, Muchichi quickly said to Xing Zhao. Xing Zhao looked at her earlobe. He was not just satisfied. He really wanted to kiss this little thing's pink earlobe. But since it was not the right place, he closed his eyes and let the tattoo artist leave Muchichi's name on his collarbone. Men are usually afraid of being tied down, especially men like your boyfriend. It's obvious that he really cares about you. The tattoo artist whispered into Muchichi's ear. Cherish him. I wish you all the best. Muchichi's face turned red. But she held Xing Zhao's warm hand all the way. Although they tried their best to hide their relationship, it was not a capital offense if someone found out about it occasionally. In 10 minutes, Xing Zhao's body now bore another person's name. To Muchichi, Xing Zhao might have carved her name on his body, but to Xing Zhao, Muchichi's name had long since been carved into his heart and bones. After the tattoo was done, Xing Zhao asked the tattoo artist to keep the information a secret. Then he left the quiet courtyard with Muchichi and was ready to return to the small mansion. However, when they reached a place where there was no one else, Xing Zhao suddenly stopped his sports car. What's wrong? Xiao Xiao? Xing Zhao hugged Muchichi. Then he licked her red earlobe. Muchichi felt her whole body trembling. She felt weak. How sensitive. Xing Zhao smiled playfully. Then he let go of Muchichi and continued driving. Muchichi blushed. She could not help scolding him. You are so naughty. You always tease me. You don't like it? Xing Zhao asked Muchichi. Of course I like it. It's the only way Xiao Xiao treats me. Muchichi was unfortunate after she left the Mu family. She had almost no family on her side except for Su Zipei. But at the same time, Muchichi was lucky. If she did not leave the Mu family, she would not have been able to save Xing Zhao and fall in love with him. If Muchichi had to start over, she would rather endure the pain of being slandered again. She just wanted to meet Xiao Xiao. How lucky she was that the person she liked her too. When they reached the small mansion, Xing Zhao said to Muchichi, "Let's go." The tattoo? I know how to explain it to Aunt Zipei. Muchichi replied. Good girl. Muchichi, who had changed her appearance, mustered the courage to enter the house. She smiled confidently when she saw Su Zipei's surprised expression. I'm home, Aunt Zipei. Su Zipei looked at Muchichi from head to toe. She could not help but sigh when she saw how beautiful Muchichi was. Chichi, you've really grown up. You've become beautiful. Do I look good? Of course. But your earlobes? It's a tattoo, Aunt Zipei. I had a dream that Mu Tongxue was pretending to be me and did something illegal. The police found me and arrested me. I was very sad, but no one could tell us apart. So, I told Brother Xiao about it and he brought me to get a tattoo. He said that Mu Tongxue and I would be more obvious this way. What does it mean? Su Zipei was studying the meaning of the letters. It doesn't mean anything. The tattoo artist asked me to choose a pattern. I thought it looked good, so I chose it. I don't know what it means. Muchichi said naturally. Su Zipei nodded in agreement. That's good. But, will the school give you trouble? No one would find out if I let my earlobes down. Moreover, I'm going to graduate soon. It won't be a problem. Muchichi explained. Su Zipei did not say anything else. She was very satisfied with Muchichi's attitude. Chapter 65. Muchichi successfully hid the origin of the tattoo. She went back to her room and lay down on the bed in satisfaction. To her, every day she spent with Xing Xiao was like burning herself, because she did not know when bad news and blows would come one after another. She had neither status nor background, and her family was hostile to Xing Xiao. Moreover, Xing Xiao was her benefactor. With so many factors, she did not know how far she could go with Xing Xiao. But just as she had told Xing Xiao before, as long as Xing Xiao did not give up on her, she would not give up on him even if her head was bleeding. It did not matter if others looked down on her or humiliated her. She was prepared to sacrifice everything for this relationship. To her, she had to give everything she had. But to Xing Xiao, he did not just want to give up his heart. He would advance step by step, plot and lay all the foundations for Muqiqi so that she would not have to go through more hardships. As a man, planning for the future was something he had to consider, no matter what kind of situation he was in. He would never let go of what he wanted. Looking at the tattoo in the mirror, Xing Xiao put on a shirt to cover Muqiqi's name because Mama Sheng had been knocking on the door for a while. Xing Xiao got up and opened the door. Mama Sheng was holding a key in her hand. She said, "The house is ready. It's a villa with a view of the sea. When are you going to move in?" "After the new year." Xing Xiao replied. "That's right. There are a lot of family gatherings during the new year. It's not convenient for you to be out alone. Xing Xiao, you won't disappoint me, will you?" "When have I ever disappointed you?" Xing Xiao asked Mama Sheng in return. He had always been swift and decisive in business and had created a legend of invincibility. Of course, he knew that Mama Sheng was referring to disappointment, but he was just playing dumb. "Among you and your brother, the family has the highest expectations for you. You know what I mean." Since he was the crown prince, he was naturally the center of attention. But Xing Xiao did things his own way and never cared about anyone. "Mom, I'm sleepy." Xing Xiao used his trump card. "All right. Rest." Mama Sheng left the key and turned to leave his room. Xing Xiao could devote a lot of energy to the Xing family's diamond empire, but he was destined to disappoint his family when it came to his personal life and feelings. Looking at the key that Mama Sheng had given him, Xing Xiao put it in the drawer. He planned to let Jing Yun stay there because he wanted to create some human presence in the house so that Mama Sheng would think that he was staying there. He had also prepared the key to the detached villa near Xingting University. When the time came, he would let Muqiqi go in and see how to decorate it. Previously, he wanted to bring Muqiqi to pick one, but it was too eye-catching. So, he had already asked someone to look for this villa. It was extremely secretive. The next day, Muqiqi went to school. Since her image had changed overnight, it was only natural that she would receive the attention of all the teachers and students. Such a Muqiqi was confident and dazzling. When Qian Qian saw her, she couldn't believe it. "OMG, is this still my deskmate? Qiqi, I don't even recognize you anymore. Does it look good?" Muqiqi smiled. "Compared to White Lotus Mu from class 5, you're so much more dazzling, okay? I don't like obedient girls. I'm super satisfied. Who did this for you? I'm going to ask him too." Muqiqi looked at her exaggerated expression and couldn't help but say, "I'm not going to tell you. Hey, what's on your earlobe?" Qian Qian reached out and moved Muqiqi's hair away. When she saw the tattoo, she quickly covered her mouth. "Qiqi, you've become naughty. You actually got a tattoo." "It's to distinguish Mu Tongxue." Muqiqi said faintly and signaled Qian Qian to keep quiet. "But it's obviously a person's name. Hurry up and tell me. Who did you tattoo?" Qian Qian knew what her youngest daughter was thinking. She knew that Muqiqi wouldn't simply tattoo a name on her ear. "That, the person you had a crush on in your diary?" Muqiqi nodded as if admitting it. "It's so romantic. I want to go too." Qian Qian hugged Muqiqi and played with her. Then she covered Muqiqi's tattoo. "Qiqi, I know that you do everything secretly and don't want others to know. But I'm not someone else. I'm your good friend Qian Qian. Mu Tongxue can't be your good little sister, but I can be your good big sister. Do you understand? You can come to me if you need me." "I know, Qian Qian." Muqiqi was very touched. Qian Qian really told her everything. However, she didn't hide it from Qian Qian on purpose. She just hoped that when the time was right they would meet again. On the other hand, Muqiqi's appearance today had become a hot topic in the school. After all, everyone knew about her and Mu Tongxue. The two sisters were fighting each other, neither willing to let the other go. Still, judging from the current situation, Muqiqi definitely had the upper hand in every aspect. Whether it was her grades or the recognition of others. Mu Tongxue had been exposed several times in a row. That was why she was like a street rat in the school. Even though she was transferred to class 5, there were only 1 or 2 girls who could get close to her. Especially when she saw how dazzling Mu Qiqi was now. Mu Tangxue could only do the work that Papa Mu arranged for her to numb her nerves. Because she didn't want to fall behind Mu Qiqi. She would be the person in charge of Mu Group in the future. But what about Mu Qiqi? She was just a sponsor. She had no background. There was no future for her in the future. However, Mu Tangshue's grades dropped even more when the final exam results of the semester were released. It would be difficult for her to get into Xingting University. Mu Tangxue was very worried about that. Mama Mu couldn't help but think of her previous idea. She wanted to change the grades of the two sisters after the college entrance exam. She didn't think it was necessary before. But now, she felt that she had to prepare for it as soon as possible. After all, there was not much time left after the new year. Speaking of the new year, the semester was coming to an end. But Mu Qiqi thought that Xiao Xiao would be busier during this period. Moreover, there were so many people in the Xing family. They would definitely celebrate the new year together. That meant that she could only spend the new year with her aunt. Xiao Xiao wouldn't be able to leave, would he? That night, the two of them went on a date as usual when Su Zipei was asleep. However, Xing Xiao didn't bring her to the revolving restaurant or other places that she was familiar with. Instead, they went to the new villa area. When the sports car drove into an unfamiliar place near Xingting University, Mu Qiqi suddenly realized something. Xiao Xiao, this is Xingting University's campus. Chapter 66. Mu Qiqi's heart was beating wildly. She was not mentally prepared for that. She felt that all of this was just an extravagant hope. She did not even dare to think that she could still live with him. Seeing that Mu Qiqi was speechless, Xing Xiao stopped the car in front of the villa and asked her, "What's wrong? Are you unwilling?" Mu Qiqi pushed the door open and got out of the car. When she saw the huge floor-to-ceiling glass, she was very excited. How could I not be willing? I'm just too willing. That's why I'm afraid. I'm afraid that everything will disappear from my eyes in the end. Xiao Xiao. Xing Xiao put his arm around her and opened the door with her. Don't be afraid. Just do your best. Mu Qiqi was led by Xing Xiao into the new home he had prepared for her. She felt as if her entire body was floating in the clouds when she saw the warm furnishings. It was so unreal. Then Mu Qiqi was brought to the second floor. When he pushed open the door to the master bedroom, Mu Qiqi's cheeks were burning, and she did not dare to look at him directly. From now on, we'll sleep here. After saying that, Mu Qiqi did not dare to look up. He lifted her chin and asked, "Are you shy?" Mu Qiqi nodded, not daring to look into his eyes. Xing Xiao leaned over and kissed her. Then he carried her horizontally and placed her on the soft bed. Mu Qiqi felt as if her heart was about to jump out of her throat, but Xing Xiao simply sat on the edge of the bed and told her, "I'm just letting you test if the bed is soft. You're teasing me again." Mu Qiqi glared at him, but there was nothing she could do about the demon. Xing Xiao caressed Mu Qiqi's earlobe with his long fingers. "Go take a look at your cloakroom and study. Let me know if there's anything you want to change. I'll have Jing Yun prepare it." Mu Qiqi looked at him solemnly when she heard the name Jing Yun. "Assistant Jing, do you know about us? Do you think you can hide from him?" Xing Xiao smiled wickedly. "Don't worry. It's not his place to meddle in my private affairs. So, you don't have to worry that our relationship will be leaked. But you have to tell me when you're willing to admit our relationship to the public." Mu Qiqi was very uneasy and panicked. "You dragged me into hell, so you have to be responsible for me." At that, Mu Qiqi reached out and hugged him. "I can do anything for you." Xing Xiao smiled and patted her head. "Just sleep here tonight. I'll send you back tomorrow morning." Huh? Mu Qiqi did a double take. Could it be that Xing Xiao wanted to? "What are you thinking? Little rascal?" Xing Xiao smiled mockingly and got up from the bed. "Take a shower by yourself. I'm going to the study for a video call. There's something I need to deal with in the United States." "Then, where are you going to sleep? Where do you think I should sleep?" Xing Xiao asked seductively beside Mu Qiqi's ear. Mu Qiqi's body softened, but she did not have time to think because Xing Xiao had already stood up and walked towards the study. What about her? After a nice shower, Mu Qiqi did not dare to think too much. She was afraid, but she would not stop him if he really wanted to. After all, she would do anything for the one she loved. So Mu Qiqi took a shower in the bathroom. But she did not put on her clothes, and simply wrapped herself in a bathrobe and lay down on the bed. She was very nervous and her mind was running wild. She was afraid that Xing Xiao would think that she was not simple, and would think of ways to seduce him. But her feelings were really complicated. But she waited for Xing Xiao for about 3 hours. She almost fell asleep in a daze, and only heard the sound of Xing Xiao returning to his room. Xing Xiao looked at the little one on the bed. He saw her exposed arms and the clothes beside her, and knew that she was not wearing them. He really did not know how the little one could be so bold. After washing up in the bathroom, Xing Xiao dressed neatly and returned to the bedroom, and quietly lay down beside Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi was so frightened that she wanted to turn over, but Xing Xiao held her down. "Don't move, or I don't know what I'll do." "Xiao Xiao." Xing Xiao raised his head and looked at Mu Qiqi. He caressed her earlobe with his finger and said softly, "I want you but not now. At least, when you go to university you will no longer be a little thing. Don't be easily coaxed by men. Even though I'm the only man you could have in this life." With that, Xing Xiao kissed Mu Qiqi's forehead and lay back down. "Sleep. You have to wake up at 5. How could Mu Qiqi fall asleep under such circumstances? In her new home, with Xing Xiao lying beside her, Mu Qiqi felt that her life had been turned upside down by Xing Xiao. She felt that she could never go back to the right track. That night, Mu Qiqi was very careful and nervous. She was a little disappointed. So, she could not sleep until Xing Xiao woke up in the wee hours of the morning. To be precise, he did not fall asleep either. "You keep tossing and turning. It seems that you really want me to do something to you." Having said that, Xing Xiao sat up and hugged Mu Qiqi in his arms, letting her lean against his strong chest. "Xiao Xiao, if I didn't pester you, have you thought about what kind of partner you would find?" Mu Qiqi asked. "Not interested," Xing Xiao answered decisively. "It's not like I haven't seen other men changing their women 3 times a day. But that has nothing to do with me. You don't like those? I don't like others touching my things. That's why I don't like touching what others have touched." Xing Xiao explained to Mu Qiqi very seriously. "Mu Qiqi, I'm not a stickler for rules and I don't like to follow them either. That's why I prefer to play with taboos like you." Mu Qiqi listened quietly in Xing Xiao's arms, because she had a feeling that Xing Xiao liked to describe her as bad. But in fact he was very attentive and considerate of others' feelings, even when they were in a bad situation. Unable to hold back, Mu Qiqi kissed the back of Xing Xiao's hand. "I'll follow you with big strides." Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi. He knew that she was naked under the blanket, but he did not put his thoughts into action for Mu Qiqi's sake, because he did not want to become truly despicable. The two of them leaned against each other and soon fell asleep. In their new home, the two of them slept in each other's arms. At 5 in the morning, Xing Xiao woke Mu Qiqi up punctually and sent her back to the little mansion. On the way, Mu Qiqi could not help asking, "Xiao Xiao, is the Sheng family very busy for New Year?" "Very busy," Xing Xiao answered. "Danian, are you unable to come out of the Sheng family? Why? Do you want to see me? Or do you want to be like last night?" Chapter 67. "You evil little thing." Xing Xiao sneered. Then he stopped the car near the villa. "Just stay at home. I will come back to find my heart." "What do you mean? You took my heart. Who else can I ask for it if I don't ask for it?" Then he kissed Mu Qiqi's lips. Mu Qiqi laughed. It was so sweet. Then she pushed the door open and went home. Although she felt sorry for her aunt, she felt that she had gone crazy. Soon the school announced that it was a holiday. However, Mu Qiqi did not have the life to take a holiday. She had spent the whole holiday studying so that she could become stronger. She wanted to improve herself in all aspects. Meanwhile, under Papa Mu's introduction, Mu Tongxue was also meeting some business friends or socialites, starting to interact with them. Of course, it was only a few months before the college entrance examination. Mu Tongxue showed her anxiety. She fainted a few times at home. Mama Mu could not stand it any longer, and told Mu Tongxue about her previous plan. "Although it's risky, I think your sister is more confident with her results. I've already asked around and all you need to do is pay. After the college entrance exam, your sister's results will be yours." Mu Tongxue nodded. "That's right, Mu Tongxue." Mu Tongxue did not say anything. But she nodded to gain her father's trust. "Mommy, you are the best to me. Even so, you still have to do your best. If the exchange fails, you can still keep your results. Do you understand?" Mu Tongxue knew that very well. Although she wanted to hand in a blank paper and let Mu Qiqi score 0, it was not realistic. Moreover, it would be easy to be discovered. So, Mu Qiqi could only take advantage of it. "Recently, your father has brought you to visit many of his friends. It seems that he trusts you more and more. Study hard. In the end, Mu Group will be yours." "I understand, Mommy." She would let Muchichi enjoy herself for a few more days. When the results of the college entrance examination were out, she would cry all over again. Muchichi patiently attended all sorts of tutoring sessions, but realized that her aunt seemed to be more willing to spend time on grooming herself in the last few days. Muchichi paid close attention to Suzipei's every move, and could not help asking her before dinner, "Aunt Zipei, you've changed recently." Suzipei was stunned. "You saw through me? Aunt, if there's anything you can tell me." Muchichi held Suzipei's hands and said, "Do you still remember your vice principal?" Suzipei asked. "So he lives nearby too. I saw him going out several times when I went to buy groceries, so he pursued you?" Muchichi asked excitedly. "I don't know what he sees in me. Maybe I was mistaken. You know, although your uncle was chased out of Jianchuan, I still have a clean break with that scum. Plus, you need to take care of me. How could I think about those messy things?" Muchichi thought of their vice principal, a cute uncle in his early 40s. He was a good match for her aunt. In fact, the vice principal had already noticed Suzipei when she attended Muchichi's parent-teacher conference. Later, he was very excited when he found out that she was in the villa area. So he could not help but talk to Suzipei. After a while, how could Suzipei not understand what he meant? "Aunt Zipei, if he is really a good person, why can't you agree? Don't sacrifice your life for me." Muchichi held Suzipei's hands and said, "It's still not appropriate. It's going to be New Year soon. I have to go to Sea City for 2 days to visit your grandparents and sweep their graves. Do you want to go with me?" Actually, Suzipei just wanted to escape. At her age, she did not want to marry into a rich family. She felt that her current life was more comfortable. "Aunt Zipei, I still have a lot of classes. Don't worry, I will ask old Lin to help me wherever I go." "Don't worry," Muchichi replied. "No, you can take old Lin with you. At most, I won't go out for a few days when you are not home." Suzipei thought about it and nodded. "It's good that you don't want to go. When your grandparents were still alive, they didn't treat you well. There's no need for you to go and see them. However, I won't be taking Elder Lin away. You can go wherever you want or find your classmates to play. But there's one condition. You must keep in touch with me." "I understand, Aunt Zipei." Muchichi was already an adult. It was not a problem for her to stay at home for a few days. Moreover, old Lin was there. Suzipei was busy now. So, she did not have time to care about Muchichi. All she wanted was to leave for a few days to calm down. So, Suzipei packed her luggage that night. Muchichi was a little disappointed when she remembered that she had never been apart from her aunt. "Aunt Zipei, I really hope that you can be happy." Suzipei smiled and caressed Muchichi's head. "I will come back before New Year to spend the New Year with you." "Got it, Aunt Zipei." Muchichi sent Suzipei off and told Xingxiao about it. Since Suzipei was not home, Xingxiao went straight to the little mansion to have supper with Muchichi. "What do you want to ask me?" "The vice principal of our school is wooing you, but you think that she is not good enough for him and rejected him." Muchichi told Xingxiao. "Xiao Xiao, you know the vice principal, don't you? You want him to be your uncle? I just think that when I get married, Aunt Zipei would be all alone." Muchichi said sadly. "I hope that she can find her own place. She is still so young." "Marry?" Xingxiao chuckled and pinched Muchichi's chin. "Do you think you can still get married?" "Why can't I?" Muchichi retorted. "You have already slept on the same bed. Who else do you want to marry?" Xingxiao asked Muchichi disdainfully. "You're not innocent anymore, Muchichi." Muchichi blushed but did not say anything. Instead, she held Xingxiao's hand under the table. "I don't want anyone but you." Satisfied, Xingxiao told Muchichi, "I have a business trip tomorrow. I will be back the day after tomorrow." Chapter 68. As if it was a prank, Xingxiao suddenly approached Muchichi and whispered into her nose, "What about tonight?" Muchichi did not dare to move and could only answer honestly, "It's your home. You can stay wherever you want." "What? I want to sleep in your bed tonight?" "Then Muchichi quickly pointed at Suzipei's room. "I'll sleep in Aunt Zipei's room." "What? I want you to stay with me?" "Then Muchichi could not say anything because Xingxiao's kiss was already on her lips. Muchichi was already used to kissing him so intimately. Still, she could not concentrate at home because she was afraid that Suzipei would come back at any moment. Perhaps sensing her absent-mindedness, Xingxiao released her lips and carried her horizontally on the dining table. "Scared?" Muchichi was stunned and nervous. "I'm afraid that Aunt Zipei would suddenly come back." Guilty conscience? Xing Xiao deliberately made Mu Qiqi look straight at him and kissed her again. This time, he deliberately swept her lips and tongue so that she did not have the energy to think about anything else, and in just a moment, Mu Qiqi went limp and leaned against Xing Xiao's chest. Little rascal, your aunt won't come back. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao's narrow waist tightly, deeply inhaling the faint scent of his body. Xiao Xiao, how could I like you so much? Xing Xiao took the chance to pick her up and walk step by step to her little room. Mu Qiqi was so nervous that her heart was beating like a drum. She was afraid but at the same time expectant. Soon Xing Xiao kicked open the door to Mu Qiqi's room. He had not entered Mu Qiqi's room since the little mansion was given to them. Seeing that her room was filled with books, Xing Xiao put Mu Qiqi on the bed and held her hands. Are you looking forward to it? Mu Qiqi blushed and could not help biting her thin lips. Xing Xiao chuckled and let go of her. You wish. Mu Qiqi knew that he was teasing her. So she got up and locked the door. Now she would not be afraid even if Su Zipei came back. However, Xing Xiao laughed out loud. Little rascal, you don't have the slightest potential to do bad things. My car is down there. Before I met you, I never dared to do such a thing. Mu Qiqi confided in Xing Xiao boldly. I won't be kissing and hugging a man so frequently at this age. I won't be teased by him in all sorts of places. Xing Xiao sat on the bed, his eyes glinting with a sharp gaze. He was like a sharp eagle, staring at his prey. She could only take out her pajamas from the closet and said to him, I'm going to take a shower, go. Xing Xiao lay on the small bed and said, I'll leave in a while. Then I won't bother with you anymore. You're too despicable. With that, Mu Qiqi entered the bathroom. Suddenly she remembered the night she was sold. Xing Xiao was injured and sat outside waiting. In the end, he even called the hotel manager over just to open the door for him. Now that he thought about it, the situation was completely different. Mu Qiqi quickly finished her shower and returned to the bedroom, only to find Xing Xiao lying on her bed with his eyes closed. Mu Qiqi smiled knowingly. Just as she was about to cover him with the blanket, he rolled over and pinned Mu Qiqi beneath him, locking her firmly. Sleep, Xiao Xiao. I told you you're too young. Xing Xiao made his stance clear, but changed his position so that Mu Qiqi could lie more comfortably. It was the first time Xing Xiao spent the night in Mu Qiqi's room. For Mu Qiqi it was another kind of shock. She liked this man too much. That was why she was willing to take the risk. In the dark, Xing Xiao kissed Mu Qiqi's forehead and her alluring earlobe. The little one had no idea how torturous she was. That was why Xing Xiao waited until Mu Qiqi fell asleep and checked the safety of the little mansion before driving away. After all, he was not confident that he would really swallow the little one if he stayed. It was hard to imagine that the great crown prince of Huangyao would have to restrain himself if he wanted a woman. Because he was waiting for the apple to ripen. When the day came when it turned red, he would eat the little one until nothing was left. The next day Mu Qiqi was woken up by her phone ringing. She quickly woke up when she saw that it was her aunt, because she thought that Xing Xiao was still in the mansion. But when she saw that the room was empty, Mu Qiqi answered the call. Aunt? Qiqi, are you okay being alone at home? Are you scared? Su Zipei, who was in the car, wanted to call Mu Qiqi to make sure she was safe. Don't worry, Aunt. I'm fine. Mu Qiqi quickly answered. That's good. Have fun with your classmates today. At the mention of classmates, Mu Qiqi only remembered that she had a date with Qian. So, she quickly got up and hurried to the place where she had agreed to meet Qian. Qian panicked. Why are you only here now? I fell asleep. I'm sorry, Qian. Mu Qiqi quickly explained and presented breakfast to Qian like a treasure. Only then did Qian calm down. Get in the car. Let's go to Z City. Why are you going so far? I want to see the person I like. He is studying in Z City. Qian explained to Mu Qiqi. Let's go. We won't make it if we are late. Mu Qiqi did not tell Xing Xiao where she and Qian were going. And Xing Xiao did not tell Mu Qiqi where he was going. When they arrived in Z City, Qian brought Mu Qiqi to the entrance of a private high school. Mu Qiqi looked at Qian's expectant face and could not help but smile. So you are in love too? We are all adults. Who doesn't have someone they like? Qian winked at Mu Qiqi. Then how do you know him? He is my neighbor's child. In Mu Qiqi's heart, Qian should like a warm and caring man. But when he walked out of the school with silver hair, Mu Qiqi only saw an arrogant little boy. Xiao En. Why did you come to me? The boy walked to Qian with a disdainful look. He even smoked a cigarette in front of her. It made Mu Qiqi's impression of him very bad. But it was easy for a rich boy to get a disease as if the whole world revolved around him. It's the holiday. I miss you. Duan Xiao, and snorted and walked in front. He brought Qian and Mu Qiqi to the high-class club he was familiar with. Let's play billiards together? Mu Qiqi did not like the noisy environment, because this place could not withstand Xing Zhao's phone calls. But when she saw Qian was so happy she could not leave. Perhaps what she feared had come true. So, when Xing Xiao called her, Mu Qiqi was so scared that she hid in the washroom. Xiao. Xing Xiao was a sensitive person. How could the crown prince not know about this kind of occasion? When he heard the music, he asked her immediately, "Where are you in the bar?" Mu Qiqi was helpless. She could only tell Xing Xiao what happened today. And when Xing Xiao heard that she was in Z City, he immediately asked, "Which club are you in?" Chapter 69. Stay there and don't move. Mu Qiqi hung up the phone and returned to the hall. She could not help but sigh when she saw so many rich young men and ladies squandering their time in the club. Sometimes, the world of the rich could be very dangerous. Qian seemed to be used to such an environment. It completely changed Mu Qiqi's understanding of Qian. Come here, Qiqi. I haven't introduced you to each other. Qian waved at Mu Qiqi, who was sitting by the window and looking at the scenery. Mu Qiqi did not like this kind of occasion, but she still walked to Qian. Xiao, and this is my good friend Mu Qiqi. Qiqi, this is my boyfriend Duan Xiao. Mu Qiqi glanced at him and then looked away. She did not like the kind of boy who deliberately dressed up to make others stay away from him. That was a boy who had not grown up. Duan Xiao, and held the cue and sneered at Mu Qiqi. Your friend does not know how to play, does she? She is shy. She is a good girl. What is a good girl doing here? Duan Xiao, and glanced at Mu Qiqi contemptuously. Qiqi does not like this place. So, I will play with you for a while. Then we will leave. Qian knew that her friend was cautious, but she did not forget to protect her. Up to you. Qian stood up and played basketball with Duan Xiao, and Mu Qiqi was bored. Her tattoos and her attire did not make her look like an obedient child. But her eyes showed that she was a newbie. Very soon, a tall figure entered the Dynasty Club and was looking around for something. Perhaps it was because of his demonic aura which coincided with the club, so many men and women whistled at him along the way. At this time, Mu Qiqi was lying on the sofa in a daze. Duan Xiao and then Qian saw Xing Xiao first. I did not expect to see him here. Duan Xiao, and pointed at Xing Xiao with his chin. Who is it? The Crown Prince of Huang Yao. Duan Xiao and said. Qian turned around and saw Xing Xiao. She immediately understood why Duan Xiao, and was surprised. After all, she knew how famous this man was in Jianchuan. Mu Qiqi did not see Xing Xiao until he walked in front of her. He grabbed her collar and lifted her up. When Qian saw that, she immediately walked over and defended her friend. What are you doing? Mu Qiqi was surprised to see Xing Xiao. She quickly said to Qian, it's okay. You can play. Xing Xiao was too lazy to care about Qian. But to prevent the little one from being brought to such an occasion again, he did not forget to warn her. Don't let me know that you bring her to such a place again. It's very safe here, like a wolf or a tiger. After saying that, Xing Xiao grabbed Mu Qiqi and left. Mu Qiqi quickly resisted. Xiao, let me tell Qian. After all, she brought me out to play today. Xing Xiao let go so that Mu Qiqi's feet touched the ground. Mu Qiqi took a deep breath and said, 1 minute. Then she returned to Qian and looked at her widened eyes. Qian, when are you leaving? Give me a call. We'll meet up again. Qian could not help but grab Mu Qiqi. She could not believe it. Is the crown prince yours? Boyfriend. Mu Qiqi answered helplessly. She did not expect to introduce Xiao under such circumstances. Qian's eyes widened. She was shocked to death by Mu Qiqi. All right. You go first. We'll talk about this later. Okay. I'll call you later. Then Mu Qiqi obediently returned to Xing Zhao's side. The two of them left the club together. Qian watched them leave. She could not believe it. Am I hallucinating? Isn't Mu Qiqi secretly in love with someone in school? Damn, he managed to get the crown prince. This ability is really not just for show. I've underestimated your friend. Duan Xiao, and could not help but sigh. I say, Mu Qiqi has changed so much recently. She even has White Lotus Mu under her feet. With the crown prince supporting her, who should she be afraid of? Qian suddenly felt very happy. White Lotus Mu probably would not have expected that Mu Qiqi had such a powerful backer. Moreover, even if White Lotus Mu got married in the future, she would be suppressed by Mu Chichi. After all, Mu Chichi had seduced the best girl in Jianchuan. Ah, this is great. Mu Chichi did not know that Qian Qian was secretly enjoying herself. She just followed behind Xing Xiao obediently. She did not dare to make a sound. You're so arrogant just because I'm not here for a day? Mu Chichi felt a little guilty. She quickly changed the topic. Aren't you on a business trip? I'm on a business trip. It's a production base 20 kilometers away from City Z. Xing Xiao glanced at Mu Chichi, who was looking down at the ground. I'm having fun. Xiao Xiao. Before Mu Chichi could explain, Xing Xiao dragged her into the sports car. He made her sit on his lap and pressed her against the steering wheel. Then he scolded her harshly. Mu Chichi's red lips were swollen. She looked aggrieved. I didn't know Qian Qian would bring me here. From now on, you are not allowed to come here unless I bring you. Xing Xiao ordered domineeringly. You are such a delicious little thing. There are many people out there who would covet you. Xiao Xiao. Mu Chichi could not help kissing Xing Xiao's thin lips again. She could not control herself at all. Since they were out of Jianchuan, she could not help but want to be a little more presumptuous. She did not want to suppress and control herself. Xing Xiao held her waist and kissed her earlobe. He only stopped when his breath changed. He hugged Mu Chichi tightly. Mu Chichi wanted to move, but Xing Xiao did not let go. Don't move. Do you want me to do you in the car? Mu Chichi was obedient. She did not move at all. After a while, Xing Xiao said to Mu Chichi, don't go to that place again at night. Go back to Jianchuan. I wouldn't dare to do that with you here. Mu Chichi muttered. And you appeared without telling me. I still have to explain to Qian Qian. I don't care about others. I only care about your safety. Xing Xiao bit Mu Chichi's earlobe hard. I'll let you remember. What about you? I'll be done here at 10. I'll come and pick you up then. We'll go back together. Xing Xiao arranged. Okay, I got it. I'll wait for you. Xing Xiao nodded in satisfaction. He asked Mu Chichi to wait in a safe cafe until Qian Qian called her. Chichi, where are you? I'm in the cafe outside the club. I'll come to you now. Qian Qian was filled with curiosity. She did not expect that Xing Xiao and Mu Chichi, the two enemies who had nothing to do with each other, would actually be in a relationship with each other. Chapter 70. When they arrived at the cafe, Qian Qian found Mu Chichi's seat and sat opposite her. Tell me honestly, what's going on? Mu Chichi put down the porcelain cup in her hand and explained. It's like what you see. I'm with Xing Xiao. You're just a high school student? Qian Qian was in disbelief. How do you know the crown prince of Huangyao? I saved him when I was chased out of the house, Mu Chichi explained softly. All right. It doesn't matter how you two got to this stage. What's important is that you are Xing Xiao's girlfriend now. If White Lotus Mu bullies you, you can hit her back, okay? What's there to be afraid of when you have such a strong backing? Qian Qian, it's not convenient for us to make our relationship public yet. Mu Chichi told Qian Qian since it was one of her worries. Qian Qian smiled and took a sip of her tea. Of course I know. We're both in secret. But don't you feel good, Chichi? The Mu family thinks that you're suffering outside. Who would know that you're the crown prince's consort? If Mu Tongxue bothers you again, just give her a tight slap. Don't you think I'm messing around? Mu Chichi asked Qian Qian worriedly. After all, Xiao Xiao is 8 years older than me, and the Mu family and the Xing family are business enemies. Why do you care about what others think? Are you going to leave the crown prince if they don't like you? What's the point? Most importantly, you two should be happy and enjoy your relationship. You should know that your partner is the dream lover of every woman in Jianchuan. What's there to be discontented about? Qian Qian's words were very important to Mu Chichi. After all, she knew that there were very few people who could accept and support her being together with Xiao Xiao. She would feel more secure with her friend's support. Tell me, how far are you two now? Qian Qian asked Mu Chichi nosily. We're going to live together after university. That's exciting. Have you kissed him? Is he hot? What does my hot body have to do with you? Xing Xiao's magnetic voice wafted from behind them. Qian Qian turned awkwardly and waved at him. Hello, Crown Prince. Let's go home. Xing Xiao glanced at Qian Qian and pulled Mu Chichi up from the table. He warned Qian Qian, don't bring her to such occasions in the future. Qian Qian made an okay gesture, completely ignoring Xing Xiao. Qian, I'm going. My chauffeur is downstairs. You guys go ahead. Qian Qian waved at Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi followed behind Xing Xiao obediently like an obedient wife. Qian giggled when she saw that. Mu Chichi was like a rabbit in the mouth of a big bad wolf, and could be devoured at any moment. "You're still in the mood to have fun here," Xing Xiao said sternly as soon as he got into the car. "Qian Mu. Mu Qian Mu. Mu Qian. Qian Mu Mu, Qian Shi. Qian on. Qian Xing with Shan, Mu Qian, Qian Mu." When Mu Chichi heard that, she suddenly felt as if someone was strangling her throat. She couldn't breathe. Her uncle did not just know that she was taken away by Xing Xiao. It was because that scumbag had sold her and thought that she had been violated by someone else. "What do we do now?" "I've already sent Jing Yun to intercept them." Xing Xiao answered Mu Chichi as he drove. Seeing her pale face, he asked, "Are you scared?" "No," Mu Chichi said stubbornly. In fact, she was afraid that her relationship with Xing Xiao would be exposed. If that happened, she would not be able to stay by Xing Xiao's side forever. She was very greedy for the life with Xing Xiao now. "Nothing will happen as long as I'm here," Xing Xiao comforted her. Mu Chichi did not know how she got back to Beijing. She was worried that her uncle would look for Mu Tongxue. Xing Xiao seemed to have noticed her worry. He stopped teasing her and answered her seriously, "Jing Yun has sent more people. It's impossible for him to get in touch with the Mu family. I'm not afraid of him. I'm afraid that he will affect me staying by your side." Mu Chichi suddenly said to Xing Xiao, feeling wronged. When they arrived at the small villa, Xing Xiao parked the car in front of the villa. Then he pinched Mu Chichi's chin and told her seriously, "No one can affect you staying by my side." Mu Chichi's eyes were filled with tears. But she did not let them fall. "I'm not afraid of losing anything now. I'm just afraid of not having you by my side." Just as Mu Chichi finished her words, Xing Xiao grabbed her waist and pulled her onto his lap. Then he pressed her against the steering wheel and punished her harshly. Mu Chichi could not breathe under Xing Xiao's deep kiss. When she regained consciousness, Xing Xiao had already carried her out of the car and entered the villa. Of course they could only be so presumptuous when Su Zipei was not around. They kissed from the door to the bedroom as if there was no one else around. Mu Chichi breathed in big mouthfuls of fresh air. Her mind was completely occupied by Xing Xiao's name. That night Xing Xiao did not leave. He hugged Mu Chichi and fell asleep, waiting for her to wake up in the morning. The next morning Xing Xiao called Jing Yun. "Have you found him?" "There's no news yet, young master. We're strengthening the investigation. You must find him before he goes to the Mu family. If we had dealt with him before, he wouldn't be a problem now." Xing Xiao's voice was cold. The existence of this uncle had left a huge shadow in Mu Chichi's heart. He should not have shown mercy to that scumbag then. "Yes, young master." Mu Chichi heard Xing Xiao's call. She sat up and hugged Xing Xiao from behind. Xiao, pack up. Your aunt will be back in the morning." Xing Xiao told her directly. Xiao, you should go. I know what to do with my aunt." Mu Chichi rubbed her head against Xing Xiao's back. Xing Xiao turned and put his arm around Mu Chichi's neck, pulling her closer to him. "I, Xing Xiao, never like to be secretive," he told her. "But for you, little one, I've tasted what it's like to be secretive." "Are you regretting it?" Mu Chichi asked tentatively, looking into Xing Xiao's eyes. "How exciting." Xing Xiao snorted coldly. "I won't be merciful when I find your uncle. Don't interfere with how I deal with him." Chapter 71. After Xing Xiao left, Mu Chichi quickly got out of bed and tidied up the room, afraid that Su Zipei would notice that a man had been in the room. Fortunately, Su Zipei's mind was focused on that scumbag when she got home. She did not even notice if a man had been lying on the big bed in Mu Chichi's room. "When I went to visit your grandparents' graves, I heard that your scumbag uncle had appeared in your hometown not long ago. He's probably hiding somewhere in Jianchuan now." Su Zipei was really worried. If that scumbag went to the Mu family and let them know that Mu Chichi was sponsored by Xing Xiao, the Mu family would never allow Mu Chichi to stay in the small mansion no matter what. That scumbag likes gambling. I could ask his old friends. They might know where he is. And it's too dangerous. So, Brother Jing has already sent Assistant Jing to investigate. Mu Chichi comforted Su Zipei. "I don't want to see you being bullied by him again. But, Aunt, if we find that scumbag, would you consider getting a divorce?" Mu Chichi asked Su Zipei. After all, she knew that the vice principal of Eton was keeping an eye on Su Zipei. It was not because of his background but because she hoped that her aunt could find a home for the rest of her life, or at least not with that scumbag uncle. Su Zipei looked at Mu Chichi and said nothing. After a long while she nodded. I do have to get a divorce. But I'm not doing it so I can remarry. Aunt, anything is fine as long as you are happy. But not that scumbag. Let's find him first. I'll ask his friends. Su Zipei insisted. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'm just making a few calls. That was more like it. That was why Mu Chichi did not stop her. In fact, that scumbag had secretly returned to Jianchuan, but he could not resist the urge to continue gambling. However, after entering the casino with great difficulty, he would lose all of his earnings very quickly. Now that he could not blackmail Su Zipei and Mu Chichi, he could only turn his attention to the Mu family. Still, the Mu family was well aware of his gambling habit and would not answer his calls, much less meet him in private. Because of this scumbag had been observing the surroundings of the Mu family's villa for several days. But every time he could only see the Mu family's car coming out of the villa. He never saw anyone from the Mu family. Seeing that he didn't even have enough money to eat, this man decided to stop the Mu family's car to blackmail them. Even a poor relative was still a relative. Wouldn't they give him some face? That was why he had been standing guard outside the Mu family's villa, watching the Mu family's cars coming in and out. When he finally saw Mu Tongxue and Mama Mu leaving, he fearlessly stepped forward, causing the driver to brake abruptly and startling the mother and daughter in the car. The driver hurriedly got out of the car, only to see the scumbag roll a few times and grab onto the car door. Sister-in-law, I'm here to see you, sister-in-law. Neither Mama Mu nor Mu Tongxue recognized the man at once, and had the chauffeur send him away. What kind of relatives are you talking about? Look at you, do you look like our madam's brother-in-law? Mama Mu looked at the man a few more times. She had already recognized him, but she did not want to admit that she knew this man. Mu Tongxue, on the other hand, reached out to open the door. Swear. Mommy, that really is my uncle. That beggar is only here to ask for money. Why are you getting out of the car? Mama Mu held Mu Tongshue's hand. Still, Mu Tongxue wanted to know where her uncle had sold Mu Chichi. She wanted to know the secrets that no one would know, and to get hold of Mu Chichi's weakness. But that was when Jing Yun's men found their target and quickly went up to him, holding him up while telling the Mu family's chauffeur, "This man owes you money. He must be trying to blackmail you. We're looking for him too, trash." The Mu family's chauffeur cursed and returned to his car, leaving the house with Mu Tongxue and Mu Tongxue, completely unaware of the secret he had missed. Soon Jing Yun brought the man to his and Su Zipei's house, and waited for Xing Xiao to deal with him. When Xing Xiao learned about it, he gave Su Zipei a call. When Su Zipei learned that the man had been captured, she brought the divorce papers to their old house. When she saw that the scumbag was unrepentant, she promptly put the papers in front of him. "I've suffered a lot from you over the years. I had thought that I could endure it for the rest of my life, but I really didn't expect that you would sell Mu Chichi for money." The man was surprised to see that Su Zipei had become so beautiful and noble. "Su Zipei, are you seeing someone else? I just want to divorce you." Su Zipei repeated. I won't let you have it easy even if I die." Su Zipei laughed self-deprecatingly. She really never realized that she had been so blind before. "Do you still remember what young Master Xing said when you were chased out of Jianchuan?" Su Zipei asked her husband. "Now that you're back, don't blame me for not reminding you that your limbs might be cut off." The man was left dumbfounded at that. "Young Master Xing knows? Who do you think caught you?" Su Zipei asked him in return. "You still want to go to the Mu family? What do you want to say to the Mu family? You've sold their daughter. Do you think the Mu family will care about you? Let me tell you, the Mu family has prepared a lawyer to catch you. You're lucky that they didn't recognize you today. Why don't you hide far away? Do you want to die?" The man felt a chill down his spine when he heard that. "Then what should I do now?" "Sign the divorce papers. Then I have some money here. You can take it with you, but you must leave Jianchuan immediately." Su Zipei coaxed the man. "This is your only way out now." The man was tied up, but he understood the severity of Su Zipei's words. But when he thought about it, Su Zipei was wearing gold and silver now. She might have already found herself a rich man. If he let Su Zipei go just like that, wouldn't he suffer a great loss? "You'll be free if I leave, right?" The man snorted. He would not let go even if he was tied up. "No way. Unless you give me 1,000,000 yuan, I'll leave immediately." Su Zipei was shaking with anger. She really wanted to cut that bastard down with a knife to protect Mu Chichi. But Xing Xiao had told her that if she failed to persuade him, he would do it himself. She had no choice but to tell Xing Xiao the truth since she could not handle it now. When Xing Xiao received Su Zipei's call, his eyes flashed with cold flames. I have my ways to deal with scum. Chapter 72. Then Xing Xiao asked Jing Yun to prepare a few things, and only drove to the slums when everything was ready. Meanwhile, Su Zipei was still trying to persuade the man, but Xing Xiao was not that patient. The door was opened and the scumbag was still tied up on the chair. He was a little afraid when he saw Xing Xiao. Young Master Xing, how have you been? You're quite bold. You don't even listen to me. Xing Xiao sat down on a clean chair and leaned against it. I heard that you won $1 million, he said to the scumbag. Xing Xiao had stood up for Mu Qiqi before, but he was still poking his nose into her business. Wasn't the answer obvious? Xing Xiao had taken good care of Mu Qiqi and Su Zipei. So the scumbag mustered his courage and said, Young Master Xing, Mu Qiqi is already with you. Do you think it's too much for me to ask for $1 million? To you it's just a drop in the bucket. Please be generous for once. Xing Xiao nodded. Since I'm in a good mood today, I'll give you a little. But I don't have $1 million, but I can give you $100,000. Do you want it? The scumbag wanted to bargain when he heard that it was only $100,000, but Xing Xiao cut him off. You won't have a single cent if you're greedy. The scumbag knew that Xing Xiao was not to be trifled with, and he just wanted to take the money and leave. It seemed that he had something on Xing Xiao and he could come back to extort more from him. All right, 100,000 it is. Then Jing Yun put the $100,000 in front of the scumbag. But before that, Xing Xiao had a condition. Sign here and you won't come back to Beijing from now on. No problem. You're too generous, young Master Sheng. And the divorce agreement? Jing Yun put the letter of guarantee in front of the scumbag, and had Su Zipei put the divorce agreement in front of the scumbag and untied him. But the scumbag only had eyes for the cash in front of him, and did not know what the letter of guarantee was. Although he was unwilling to sign the divorce agreement with Su Zipei, he could just deny it when he ran out of money. After signing, the man put the money into his pocket and praised Xing Xiao. Thank you, young Master Sheng. You're the crown prince after all. Su Zipei watched the arrogant man leave. She did not understand why Xing Xiao gave the man 100,000 and encouraged him. Young Master Sheng, I'm not the one who paid that 100,000 yuan. What that scumbag signed just now was not a letter of guarantee, but an IOU. It clearly stated the interest and the repayment date. As long as he doesn't take out 1 million yuan by tomorrow morning, I don't know what those debt collectors will do. Maybe they'll break his arms and legs? Xing Xiao chuckled. He could not hide his excitement in his words. She abruptly understood Xing Xiao's intentions. The nose of a debt collector is sharper than that of a private detective. As long as he dares to stay in Jianchuan, he'll either have to pay back the money or give up his life. As for the interest on the loan note, it would only snowball and roll bigger and bigger. At that time, if this scum still dared to appear in Jianchuan, his name would be read backwards. Then don't worry, he won't die. With those words, Xing Xiao left the house. He knew what he was doing. That's good. I'm just afraid that for me and Mu Qiqi, take his life? I'm a proper businessman, Aunt Zipei. With those words, Xing Xiao led Su Zipei into the car and drove her back to the little mansion. Now that the scumbag was dealt with and the divorce papers were in hand, the two of them did not have to worry for the time being. Still, Su Zipei felt even more guilty. She felt that she and Mu Qiqi owed Xing Xiao more and more. Even if Xing Xiao only wanted Mu Qiqi from start to end, he still wanted her. Mu Qiqi had been worried until the two returned home. She quickly went up to them. Aunt Zipei, how is it? Young Master Sheng, it's all settled. Su Zipei told Mu Qiqi. And the divorce papers. That's good. Mu Qiqi reached out and hugged Su Zipei before looking up at Xing Xiao. Although she did not know how Xing Xiao did it, she only felt that she was adding to his burden. Xing Xiao fixed his gaze on Mu Qiqi, his meaning clear. Mu Qiqi quickly let go of Su Zipei and said, Aunt Zipei, it's good that you're fine. I left in a hurry last night and didn't have time to explain to Qian. I'll go look for her now. You should rest at home, go. Su Zipei's mood was very complicated. She held the divorce papers in her hand and needed to organize her thoughts. That was why she did not stop Mu Qiqi. I'll send you there. Xing Xiao said. Thank you, young Master Sheng. Su Zipei thanked Mu Qiqi on her behalf and watched them leave the house. Of course, going to look for Qian was just a pretense. Xing Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to their new home. With this secluded place, Xing Xiao did not have to bring Mu Qiqi to the revolving restaurant anymore. Once they entered the house, Xing Xiao picked Mu Qiqi up by the waist and put her on the dining table. Then he kissed her fiercely. Mu Qiqi tried her best to respond, wanting to give him her whole heart. But no matter how crazy Xing Xiao was, he knew the severity of the situation. Before they had that thought, he left Mu Qiqi's lips. What? Are you still unhappy? I think I'm a burden to you. I don't want to cause trouble for you all day. I want to be useful to you. Mu Qiqi answered Xing Xiao seriously. Do you think you're not useful enough for me? Xing Xiao sneered. He grabbed her hand and put it on his body. His strong body hid the desire that was about to erupt. Mu Qiqi buried her head in Xing Xiao's chest. She could not help but raise her head and feel the man's Adam's apple with the tip of her tongue. Xing Xiao immediately pressed her down and spanked her little butt. Do you want to die? Xiao Xiao, I can do it. With your current body, you can't endure my demand. After Xing Xiao was done, he helped her up and stared at her tearful eyes. Or, can you go to college with a big belly? Mu Qiqi did not think too much. She just felt that she did not want to disappoint Xing Xiao again. They were in a stalemate for a while. Then Xing Xiao carried her down from the dining table. I'm hungry. I'm going to cook. I want to get used to the life of two people. Uncle. No, I mean, will that scum really not appear in my life and Aunt's life again? No. Xing Xiao answered with certainty. Chapter 73. One more question, Xiao Xiao. I don't know how to cook. Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao helplessly. Do you? I'll make a bowl of noodles. Xing Xiao got up from the sofa, rummaged through the fridge and took out some ingredients. Mu Qiqi watched as Xing Xiao rolled up his sleeves and busied himself in the kitchen. She obediently stood beside him and helped him. It was as if a god was taking care of a rookie. Xing Xiao, on the other hand, was full of disdain. Although the noodles he made did not look good, Mu Qiqi still felt that it was enough. Because when the noodles were brought to the table, Xing Xiao said, No one dares to let me cook except you, little thing. Mu Qiqi took a bite and spat it out mercilessly. Xing Xiao immediately crossed his arms and glared at her coldly. Do you dare to spit it out again? Mu Qiqi thought about it and got down from her seat. She went to Xing Xiao's side and put some noodles in her mouth. She held Xing Xiao's handsome face, and before he could react, she had already put the noodles to his lips. Each of them ate half of it. Mu Qiqi's face turned red and she smiled. This way the noodles won't taste bad. Mu Qiqi, you're so naughty. Xing Xiao enjoyed Mu Qiqi's wholehearted care for him. No matter how bad the noodles tasted, there was a sweetness in his mouth. Isn't it because you taught me by example and taught me well? Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and pointed at the noodles in the bowl. Continue like just now. It was just past midnight. Mu Qiqi's uncle came out of the casino and was stopped by 3 men in black. They asked him to return the money. The man was a little confused. But when he saw the axes in their hands, he quickly begged for mercy. No, gentlemen, I really don't owe you money. I never borrowed money. And you said you didn't borrow money? Then what is this? As he spoke, the man took out the IOU he had signed during the day. It's clearly written here that you have to return 1 million yuan after midnight. If you're late for 1 day, you have to pay 2 million yuan. If you don't have money to pay the debt, you have to use your limbs to pay the debt. What? It's in black and white. You signed it yourself. Are you going to deny it? When the man saw the note, he suddenly thought of the guarantee that Xing Xiao had asked him to sign. No wonder Xing Xiao was being so generous. He had set a trap for him to jump into. He borrowed 100,000 yuan, and now he had to pay back 1 million yuan. Seeing the other party's acts, the man was frightened out of his wits. He quickly begged for mercy. Everyone, I signed a letter of guarantee during the day, not a promissory note. It seems like you don't want to have one hand and one foot now. Let me tell you, as long as you're in Jianchuan, no matter where you are, we can find you. So, don't even think about denying it. Don't, gentlemen, how about this? Tomorrow morning I will return the money to you. You have to allow me to collect. The man quickly appeased several debt collectors. Tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock we'll wait for you at the door. If you dare to run away, you'll spend the rest of your life in bed. With that, they left with their axes, while Mu Qiqi's uncle's legs turned to jelly. Although he knew that it was a trap, the scumbag knew that it would not benefit him to stay here any longer. He should run away now while he still had money in his pocket. That was why Xing Xiao received a call from Jing Yun early the next morning. That scumbag has disappeared from Jianchuan without a trace. He left cleanly. Don't let him come back. With that, Xing Xiao hung up. After all, he would remove every factor that could threaten Mu Qiqi. Now Su Zipei was free and had gotten the divorce papers. So, Mu Chichi looked at her with a meaningful gaze. "Aunt, you can bravely pursue your happiness now. Do you think I still have the mood to fall in love after what happened to that scumbag? I just want you to be successful. I'm not interested in anything else." Su Zipei replied. "Alright, let's take it slow." Mu Chichi smiled. Although it was close to the new year, Mu Chichi would stay at home to receive all kinds of training when she did not go out. She did not dare to be negligent at all, because she was even more determined to excel after what happened to her uncle. Only then could she help Xiao Xiao as much as possible and not be a burden to him. And Xing Xiao did it. As he said before, Huang Yao would be busier during the new year because they would have to attend all kinds of banquets. Mu Chichi could even see him on TV sometimes. Of course, she could also see the women standing beside him. They would try to have some physical contact with Xing Xiao without a trace, but Xing Xiao would pretend that he did not see them. Even so, Su Zipei did not know about their relationship. Whenever she saw them on TV, she would tell Mu Chichi, "That girl is a good match for young Master Sheng. That actress and young Master Sheng are a perfect match." Mu Chichi could not help pulling a long face. Even so, she couldn't tell Zipei that Xing Xiao was hers and hers alone. And because Xing Xiao was busier than ever, Mu Chichi did not have the chance to see him during the New Year's Eve. Although she was busy with classes, she always wanted to text or call Xing Xiao when she had free time. But she was afraid that she would disturb his work. There had been no news from the Mu family for a long time. Perhaps he had completely forgotten the existence of such a person. But she did not expect that Mu Tongxue was practicing her notes at home every day, because it would make the exchange of papers more perfect. Mama Mu checked Mu Tongshua's homework every day. She was pleased when she saw that Mu Chichi's handwriting was gradually becoming like Mu Chichi's. "Shue, bear with it. You won't have to be afraid of your sister after the college entrance examination. Moreover, your father is already choosing a suitable husband for you. When the time comes, if you can marry him, it will be even more perfect." It was as if Mu Tongxue lived every day to be more dazzling than Mu Chichi. According to the blueprint Mama Mu had laid out for her, she even felt that she had left Mu Chichi far behind. How could she know that Mu Chichi already had a crown prince? And the victory that she wanted would probably never come to her in this lifetime? There were many guests at home as the New Year's Eve approached. The uncles especially would inevitably talk about Mu Chichi's grandmother's death. If Mu Chichi was still in the Mu family, she would not have been able to endure such scolding. "Second brother, is there any news from Mu Chichi?" Papa Mu's younger brother asked. "How could I let her have a good life after she killed Mom? She's living a miserable life with her aunt." "It's so hard," Papa Mu replied. "That's good. You only have Tongxue now. You have to train her well and not make any mistakes. As for Mu Chichi, forget about her. She's a jinx." There was a time when Mu Chichi had a little hope for the Mu family. But now Mu Chichi only wanted to be by Xing Xiao's side during the New Year's Eve. She really did not mind giving everything to Xing Xiao, should she take the initiative. Chapter 74. Mu Chichi wanted to tell Qianqian about it so that she could give her some advice. So they agreed to meet outside. Qianqian saw that Mu Chichi even had such thoughts. How much love did she have? Or perhaps, it was because of her inferiority deep inside. "Chichi, are you afraid that the crown prince will leave you?" Qianqian asked Mu Chichi directly. "You see, I'm living a good life now, but I have nothing except him." Mu Chichi said helplessly. "Are you stupid?" Qianqian nudged Mu Chichi's head. "The crown prince hasn't done anything stupid yet. Do you think he's that kind of person? How much does he value you in his heart to fall in love with a half-developed high school student like you? Idiot, you really don't know how lucky you are." "I'm just saying. I don't have the guts." Mu Chichi smiled at Qianqian. "I'm actually very scared." Qianqian looked at Mu Chichi and put an arm around her shoulder. "But as your best friend, of course I'll support you. But now is not the right time. How about I give you something? You can use it later?" Then Qianqian brought Mu Chichi to the lingerie section of the luxury store. Mu Chichi blushed at once. "Qianqian, this one." Qianqian pointed at the lace lingerie on the shelf. Then she called the salesperson over. "Wrap it up for us." "Qianqian, you really bought it. It's for you in college." Qianqian could not help but laugh. "Chichi, women like us rely on being exquisite. Men might not say it, but these will definitely give you extra points." With that, the salesperson wrapped the lingerie up and passed it to Qianqian. Qianqian then put it in Mu Chichi's hand. Mu Chichi was a little surprised. Qianqian was getting more and more aggressive. However, when they left, Mu Tangxue, who was trying on shoes, saw them. It was not strange to see them in a luxury store frequented by rich people. But the thing was, Mu Tangxue saw what Mu Qiqi was holding. Mama Mu was still trying on the clothes and did not notice Mu Qiqi and Qian Qian. However, Mu Tangxue walked up to them and smiled as she asked the two of them who were waiting for the elevator, "Sis, you're holding something from that sexy lingerie store, aren't you? What does that have to do with you?" Mu Qiqi asked in return, clutching the bag tightly. "Although you're already with a man, you still have to be mindful of your shame. If others see it, they'll think that the daughter of the Mu family is promiscuous and promiscuous." Not only that, but she also turned towards the shoe cabinet and shouted, "Mommy, come out." Mama Mu came to them with her coat, and frowned when she saw Mu Tangxue and Mu Qiqi standing together. "Mommy, look at the thing in my sister's hand." Mama Mu was an adult after all, and naturally knew what Mu Qiqi was holding. Her expression changed and she said to Mu Qiqi, "How old are you? Aren't you shameless enough to buy these things?" Mu Qiqi glared at the mother and daughter and turned to leave with Qian Qian, only to be stopped by Mama Mu. "Leave the things here. What would it look like if someone saw you taking them out like that?" Mu Qiqi turned at Mama Mu's words and raised the bag in her hand. "We bought these with our own money. What does it have to do with you, Madam Mu? I'm not a member of the Mu family either, so don't lecture me." Mu Tangxue seized the chance and snatched the bag, taking out the lingerie set and showing it to Mama Mu. "Mommy, look." Qian Qian's eyes were ablaze at once, but Mu Qiqi stepped forward and slapped Mu Tangxue's face, before snatching the bag and the other items from Mu Tangxue's hands. "Mrs. Mu, control your daughter. Don't do such a shameful thing regardless of the occasion." It was the first time Mama Mu saw Mu Qiqi hitting Mu Tangxue, and she was shaking with rage. "Mu Qiqi, how dare you hit someone? I'll hit Mu Tangxue if she dares to provoke me again. Perhaps you want to blow up Grandma's matter? I'll be there any time and my lawyer is always free. Just as long as you need it." With those words, Mu Qiqi turned and left with Qian Qian, leaving Mama Mu screaming behind them. But that had nothing to do with her. Qian Qian could feel that there was a deep misunderstanding between Mu Qiqi and the Mu family. And Mu Tangxue was the culprit. "Qiqi, I'm fine." Mu Qiqi shook her head to show that she did not mind. Moreover, slapping Mu Tangxue was a good deal no matter how one looked at it. It was supposed to be our little secret, but now Mu Tangxue is disgusting. Qian Qian took the bag from Mu Qiqi's hand and threw it into the trash can. "I was just teasing you at first and didn't really want you to use this to seduce the crown prince. I didn't expect such a huge misunderstanding. With Mu Tangxue stirring things up, I always have a motive no matter what I do. I'm used to it. And why did you throw it away? It's quite nice. Qiqi, it's not just this time. In the future you have to fight back as hard as you can every single time. Some people are not worth wasting your breath on." Mu Qiqi knew that she had long since given up on communicating with the Mu family. Whenever Mu Tangxue provoked her, she would retaliate in any way she pleased. "Let's go. It's a pity that I wasted your kindness, although I don't need it now." "That's nothing." Qian Qian winked at Mu Qiqi. "It's worth it to buy a slap." Behind them, Mama Mu called Su Zipei's phone with Mu Tangxue. "Mu Qiqi is buying all sorts of lingerie in the mall. Is that what you taught her? Seducing men at such a young age? Zipei, I've really underestimated you. What nonsense are you talking about?" Su Zipei was really annoyed by the Mu family's calls every other day. "I saw it with my own eyes. Mu Qiqi and her classmates were buying sexy lingerie in the mall." Su Zipei couldn't help snickering in disbelief. "In your heart, everything Mu Qiqi does is wrong. She has the freedom to buy whatever she wants. Moreover, Mrs. Mu, Mu Qiqi is not under your control now. Don't change your number to call me again. We really don't want anything to do with the Mu family." But she hit Shuera, of course. Mu Tangxue deserves it. Chapter 75. But since Mama Mu saw it, Mu Qiqi told Su Zipei the truth when she got home. "Aunt Zipei, I bumped into the Mu family when I was shopping with Qian Qian just now. I've already received a call," Su Zipei said calmly. She did not find it strange at all. Mu Qiqi was already an adult. Why couldn't she wear the clothes she liked? "Qiqi, whatever you do is wrong in the eyes of the Mu family. So, you don't have to care about them." "Aunt, don't you think I did something I shouldn't have? Wearing nice lingerie? Is it wrong?" Su Zipei could not understand. Girls would always want to try all sorts of things when they reach 18, and Mu Qiqi happened to be at that age. That was why she could understand how a girl would want to be attractive at that age. And thank you for believing in me unconditionally. Mu Chichi felt very guilty about it. It's just a set of lingerie, but the Mu family is making a big deal out of it. Who knows what kind of tricks they would come up with in the future when you become more successful than Mu Tangxue? Su Zipei hugged Mu Chichi. It's fine as long as you have a clear conscience. Mu Chichi nodded. She went back to her room and lay on her bed, thinking tiredly. She could not disappoint her aunt, which was why she worked even harder in her studies. She would give everything she had to learn, and she could not give up on anything except Xing Xiao. With Chanshan's consolation, Mu Chichi believed that she should trust Xing Xiao more and give herself more confidence. Of course, slapping Mu Tangxue occasionally was an important part of adjusting Mu Chichi's mood. With that in mind, Mu Chichi fell into a deep sleep. She woke up the next day and went shopping with Su Zipei. However, Mu Chichi noticed a middle-aged man in a coat glancing in Su Zipei's direction from time to time. Mu Chichi nudged her aunt's elbow and asked, "Isn't that our vice principal? I remember his surname is Liu. And do you really not like him?" "Don't worry, kid." Su Zipei was busy and ignored Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi smiled. Her intuition told her that the vice principal was a good person. On New Year's Eve, Mu Chichi and Su Zipei stayed at home. Although there were only the two of them in the huge mansion, Mu Chichi still lit the stove and sat with Su Zipei in front of it, drinking some wine. Because of her worries, Su Zipei soon got drunk and went back to her room to rest. Now Mu Chichi was left alone in the living room, humming a love song. At 11:30, Mu Chichi's phone rang. Knowing that it was Xing Xiao, she immediately rushed out of the door. Xing Xiao had obviously come out from the banquet. He was wearing a suit and a bow tie. But no matter what, he would always remember that there was a little one waiting for him at home for the new year. So he brought Mu Chichi to the seaside. Although the sea breeze was strong, Mu Chichi sat on him and the two of them were wrapped tightly together. Just wait for the 12 o'clock bell to ring and beautiful fireworks will bloom everywhere in the sky. Xiao Xiao, I hope that time can pass faster so that I can grow up immediately. There were many couples around and most of them were hugging each other. The atmosphere was very romantic. Then Xing Xiao suddenly said to her, "I'll grant you a wish. Can I promise you anything?" Mu Chichi looked up and asked Xing Xiao. "Yes." "Then, tell everyone around that I'm your girlfriend." Mu Chichi made a wish. It was dark anyway and no one would know her. Xing Xiao received the wish and let go of Mu Chichi. With a playful smile, he walked to a rock by the beach and stood on a high place. He said to everyone, "Hey, everyone here, that's my girlfriend. She said that she wants all of you to know that we are in a relationship." Xing Xiao's voice was loud and magnetic. Mu Chichi was shocked. She quickly walked to him and threw herself into his arms. "Xiao Xiao, you are for real. What if you get recognized?" Xing Xiao hugged Mu Chichi and stood on the rock together, letting the sea breeze blow. "Do you think anyone standing here will pay attention to you?" Mu Chichi looked around. She blushed when she saw that there were couples kissing around. Xing Xiao chuckled and hugged Mu Chichi tighter. He even pinched her chin. "Let's join the big group too." Being with Xing Xiao was presumptuous and arrogant. At the same time it was flamboyant. Mu Chichi slowly let go of her fear. She could also feel the fragrance of red wine in Xing Xiao's mouth. It intoxicated her. Then Xing Xiao took out the key from his pocket and handed it to Mu Chichi. "New Year's gift, this." Mu Chichi reached out to take it. "The key to our house." "Our key." Now the only thing left was for the mistress to enter the house. There was less than half a year left. Mu Chichi held the key in her palm. Because it represented her life from now on. Then Mu Chichi told Xing Xiao about what happened in the mall yesterday. After Xing Xiao heard it, he smiled teasingly. "I won't touch you even if you have a sexy body. Don't regret it when it's time." Mu Chichi buried her head in Xing Xiao's arms. Surrounded by the ocean, they happily celebrated the new year together. Soon the third year of high school started. Old Lin returned to the small mansion and drove Mu Chichi to school. When she arrived at Eton, Mu Chichi saw Mu Tangxue, who was even more arrogant. But no matter how arrogant she was, she still got slapped in the mall. In fact, Mu Chichi did not know that Mu Tangshue's arrogance was because she was scheming against Mu Chichi's college entrance examination results. Now she was practicing Mu Chichi's notes. It was already 70% similar. She just had to wait for Mu Chichi to do well in her exams. After all, the better the results, the happier she would be. Of course, Mu Chichi could not see Mu Tangshue's despicable nature. She even coveted her college entrance examination results. Still, she did not have time to care about Mu Tongxue now. She was too busy as a student representative. She had even less time after school. She had to worry about Su Zipei's life and date Xiao Xiao. As for Xing Xiao, he would move out of the Xing family after the new year. He kept his promise and moved to the place Mama Sheng had arranged for him. Of course Jing Yun would move with him, although he preferred to be alone. Young master, when are you moving to Xingting University? Before the college entrance examination in July. Xing Xiao said. So we can only live together for the next few months. Chapter 76. In the last 4 months, Mu Qiqi focused all her attention on her college entrance examination. She was always in the top 5 in every mock exam. Her results were enough for her to get into any university in the country. Mu Tongshue's results were better than the average students. But compared to Mu Qiqi, she was only in the top 30 in the country. Although she was not convinced, no matter how hard Mu Tongxue tried, she could never surpass Mu Qiqi's overall results. It was because Mu Qiqi was really good at science subjects. She would never deduct points if she could get full marks in the subject. The school had high hopes for Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi never slacked off because she wanted to achieve the goal Xing Xiao set for her. She wanted to get into the best major in Xingting University. Although she was busy with her studies, Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao never stopped dating at night. Especially after Xing Xiao moved, he would sometimes accompany Mu Qiqi through the night. He would only send Mu Qiqi back to the small mansion the next day. And Jing Yun was the best protection between the two of them. Mama Sheng would sometimes attack the mansion. And Xing Xiao would go home immediately with a call from Jing Yun. The vice principal of Eton had looked for Su Zipei a few times. But he could not find anything. Su Zipei seemed to be very stubborn in this aspect. Or maybe it was because Mu Qiqi did not take the college entrance examination. She could not stop worrying. Because of that, Mu Qiqi felt that the burden on her shoulders was heavier. Because she was not only carrying the hope of her life, but also her aunt's future. Now there were only 10 days left before the college entrance examination. That night, Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao stayed in their new home. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and urged her to study. But Mu Qiqi was not in the mood. Because she could feel Xing Xiao's warmth on her back. Xing Xiao saw that she was not paying attention. She was still reading the same page after 10 minutes. So, he let go of her and went to the bedroom. Go back to the bedroom and sleep when you are done reading. I won't wait for anyone. In the past few months they had gotten used to lying on the same bed. Although it was torturous every time. Mu Qiqi hurriedly concentrated and maintained her concentration. She made sure that she read the information over and over again a few times before tiptoeing into the bedroom. There was no light in the room for her, but there was a man lying on the bed. Mu Qiqi approached the big bed intending to check if he was asleep. However, he suddenly reached out to grab her with his long arm and pressed her under his body. This time he was wearing a black nightgown. Due to his intense movements, the nightgown had long been disheveled, revealing a large portion of his back and long legs. Mu Qiqi's heart raced and she began to stutter. What's wrong? 10 more days. With that, Xing Xiao leaned down and bit her neck. Mu Qiqi almost screamed, but Xing Xiao had already let go of her. What a little thing. Mu Qiqi puffed out her chest. I'm not young anymore. Xing Xiao clenched his fist and frowned in disdain. Not small? As if struck by lightning, Mu Qiqi froze on the bed. Then Xing Xiao took off her top and hugged her smooth body. Then, as if he was playing a prank, he left his mark on her body. Mu Qiqi had never been treated like this before. She felt that Xing Xiao seemed to have gone crazy that night. Then Xing Xiao used his long fingers to take off her trousers. Then he hugged her body and turned them over, wrapping them under the blanket. Then, there was no then. Under the blanket, Mu Qiqi did not dare to move at all. She let Xing Xiao hug her tightly, their bodies pressed against each other, their skin, their breath, and their temperature all fused together at that moment. It made Mu Qiqi's head spin and she felt extremely dizzy. Was she Xiao Xiao's woman now? Perhaps because he felt her body stiffen, Xing Xiao suddenly opened his eyes and revealed a playful smile. He looked at Mu Qiqi intently. Haven't you seen everything already? When did I? That day at the clinic you took off my trousers. You still don't admit it? I had no choice. Mu Qiqi quickly tried to defend herself. You have to take responsibility even if you had no choice. After saying that, Xing Xiao adjusted himself to a comfortable position so that Mu Qiqi could sleep comfortably in his arms. There are still 10 days before the college entrance examination. So, I'll let you taste the sweetness. Mu Chichi suddenly smiled. Was Xiao Xiao sacrificing himself to urge her to study? Xiao Xiao, you don't have to do this. I will study hard too. I know. Sheng Xiao answered Mu Chichi in the dark. Because he could feel Mu Chichi's expression all the time. She looked like she wanted to eat him up. If that was not love, then what was it? In the long night, Sheng Xiao suddenly reached out and touched Mu Chichi's back to check if there were any gaps in the blanket. Mu Chichi saw that he did not even open his eyes. She knew that it was his subconscious action. Her eyes instantly turned red. Actually, because they were going on a date at the small mansion, they could only sleep for a short 4 to 5 hours a day. Mu Chichi had to return to the small mansion before Su Zipei woke up. Sheng Xiao did not have to wake up so early. But because he had to send Mu Chichi home, he unknowingly developed the habit of sleeping early and waking up early. But what was Mu Tongxue doing at the moment? Mama Mu had already worked hard on the invigilator. She had also successfully contacted the teacher who was in charge of compiling the exam papers. She met the teacher in private and very considerately gave him a check for $3 million. She could get $3 million by swapping the papers of the two sisters. It was a big risk, but it was worth the risk. Mama Mu had arranged everything. Mu Tongxue needed Mu Chichi's excellent results. That way both mother and daughter would have a high status in the Mu family. Moreover, Mu Chichi was sponsored by someone. So what if she did worse? Mama Mu did not think that it was Mu Chichi's life at all. She only thought that it was the fastest way to achieve her goal. Mu Tongxue had practiced Mu Chichi's handwriting in private. She had already gotten the hang of it. With Mama Mu's help, Mu Tongxue had reason to believe that Mu Chichi's results would be hers. There was no escaping it. Of course, she didn't know that this exchange would cause the status of the two of them to undergo an earth-shattering change. At least, Sheng Xiao could not tolerate her. There was a 3-day holiday before the exams. Mu Chichi bid farewell to her classmates in those 3 days. She held a graduation party and took pictures with her classmates. Chapter 77. At the graduation party, Chanshan drank a little. She leaned on Mu Chichi and kept asking her, "Have you ever thought about what you will do after you get into Xingting University? No. Have you ever thought about going back to the Mu family one day?" Chanshan continued to ask. "Never thought about it either." "Have you ever thought about when you will go public with the crown prince?" "I still haven't thought about it," Mu Chichi answered honestly. "Why haven't you thought about anything? You must have a goal to achieve." In Mu Chichi's heart, the thing she wanted to do the most was to make the Mu family look at her differently. She wanted everyone to know what kind of person Mu Tongxue was. Until now, this wish had never wavered. As for her relationship with Sheng Xiao, she knew that it would be difficult. But no matter what, as a university student, she had more say than a high school student. So, she did not know when she would go public with her relationship with Sheng Xiao. But at least it was not now. "You have not slept with the crown prince? Chanshan, you are drunk." Mu Chichi was afraid that her words would be heard by others. So she quickly helped her to sleep. Not long after, Duan Xiao appeared at their graduation party. Everyone screamed when they saw this handsome guy. But his eyes only fell on Chanshan. Although he showed an expression that said she was so troublesome, Mu Chichi could see that Duan Xiao only had Chanshan in his heart. "Give her to me." Duan Xiao stretched out his hand to Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi nodded and pushed Chanshan to him. Duan Xiao hugged Chanshan and left in front of everyone. But before he left, he wished Mu Chichi well. "I wish you success in your college entrance examination." "Thank you." Like the others, Mu Chichi was envious that Duan Xiao could leave with Chanshan so openly. Because Sheng Xiao would never appear in such a public place, let alone take her away in front of so many people. "Hey Chichi, do you have a boyfriend? What about the man you wrote in your diary? Isn't he from our university?" A classmate turned to ask her. "I don't have a boyfriend." Mu Chichi answered guiltily. "How can you not be with him? Do you know how many people in our class like you?" Mu Chichi wasn't aware of that because all her attention was on Sheng Xiao. "Forget it. Since I'm graduating, I think I might as well do a good deed." After that, the student stood up and said to the whole class, "Everyone please sit down. I didn't know that Chichi didn't have a boyfriend all this time. Those who have been hiding it for a long time, if you can't hold it in any longer, you can try confessing." Mu Chichi froze. She thought he was joking, but when the graduation party ended, she was really stopped by a boy from her class. "This is for you." Mu Chichi looked as if she had seen a hot potato. She did not know whether she should take it or not. However, the boy stuffed it directly into her school bag without waiting for her to refuse. In the dark, she couldn't even call out the boy's name, although they had been in the same class for almost a year. Late at night, old Lin came to pick Muchichi up. He saw Muchichi taking out the love letter from her bag. She did not even look at it. She wanted to throw it away, but old Lin smiled. No matter what, it's someone else's love. It's not good to tear it or throw it away. It would be terrible if Xing Xiao saw it. Still, Muchichi did not throw it away in front of old Lin. Instead, she put it back in her bag and tucked it in her revision materials. She did not expect that Xing Xiao did not let her sneak out that night. Instead, he openly came to the little mansion and wanted to have dinner with her and Su Zipei. Old Lin, the blabbermouth, told Su Zipei about the love letter as gossip. Miss Chichi is very popular. There are even boys who give her love letters. Muchichi did not know what Xing Xiao's expression would be when he heard that. She tried to change the topic. I'm hungry, Aunt Zipei. But Su Zipei smiled and replied to old Lin, school romance always makes one's heart flutter. Isn't that so? Muchichi could only lower her head and return to her room when she saw that she could not stop them. I'm going to change. But soon Xing Xiao entered her room and pressed her against the wall for a deep kiss. Someone else confessed to you? Aren't you afraid Aunt Zipei would see it? Where's the love letter? I'd like to see which idiot has taken a fancy to my little one. Xing Xiao snatched Muchichi's bag and found the love letter tucked between the books. That's right. Muchichi smiled. Muchichi glared at him but could not snatch it back from his hands. I'm confiscating it. I'm keeping myself chaste for you, but you're out flirting. When did I flirt? Muchichi defended herself, feeling wronged. You're mine. Xing Xiao moved closer to Muchichi and said those words, but Su Zipei called out to them. Chichi, young Master Sheng, come down for dinner. Does Aunt Zipei know you're here? I said you're asking me for math questions. With those words, Xing Xiao put the love letter in his pocket and walked out of Muchichi's room first. Did those half-male animals who didn't even have their pubic hair write her love letter because they were studying in university and could pursue her without restraint? He was quite courageous. Muchichi obediently followed behind Xing Xiao. Soon it would only be a few days, and she could finally be with Xing Xiao for real, living together in the villa. You have exams tomorrow. Sleep early tonight. Su Zipei could not help reminding Muchichi during dinner. Look, young Master Sheng is even coming to cheer you on just for you. Do your best. Xing Xiao looked at Muchichi and told her seriously. I will. After all, she had promised him a future for both of them. It had been a long time since Su Zipei saw Xing Xiao, and she kept him company. In fact, he and Muchichi met every night. But Xing Xiao did not put on airs like a crown prince and never looked down on Su Zipei. In fact, he knew that he could not meet Muchichi in her new home tonight, and so wanted to spend more time with her. Muchichi slept soundly that night. She hugged herself and tried hard to remember the way Xing Xiao hugged her so that she could sleep soundly. The next morning, she brought the tools for the exam and confidently went to the exam hall. But before the exam, she and Mu Tongxue passed each other in the corridor. They were in different classes and naturally in different exam rooms. Chapter 78. At that moment, Muchichi could not understand how disgusting Mu Tongxue was. Her kindness had limited her imagination. But she did not know that some people were like maggots in this world. They hid in the darkest corner just to devour your body to strengthen themselves. The 3-day exam might not be as difficult as the usual mock exam for Muchichi. That was why she was very confident when she walked out of the exam hall. Seeing that she was happy, old Lin said, You must be very satisfied with your results, Miss Muchichi. It's not bad because I've done most of the questions before, Muchichi replied. That's good. Miss Su, you'll be relieved. Muchichi nodded. She might not be the best, but she would at least be able to keep up with her usual results. That was why she told Xing Xiao that. The first thing she did when she walked out of the exam hall was to call Xing Xiao. Although Xing Xiao could not listen to her carefully, he still said, Congratulations. Because Xing Xiao never doubted Muchichi's ability. Although Su Zipei did not know how confident Muchichi was, the vice principal of Eton had paid attention to Muchichi's exam papers during the exam because he was pursuing Su Zipei. He was very satisfied with her answers and finally found a topic that Su Zipei did not dislike. Everything seemed to be going well. On the other hand, the first thing Mu Tongxue did when she got home was to ask Mama Mu about exchanging the exam papers. She was only relieved when Mama Mu gave her an okay sign. Judging from Muchichi's arrogance, she probably did not know that she would fail the exam. Papa Mu asked Mu Tangxue about her results as well. She pretended to be low-key. I tried my best, Dad. Papa Mu did not say anything even though the results were not out. He put his arm around Mu Tangshue's shoulder and said, "It's fine as long as you tried your best. Are you confident that you can beat Mu Qiqi?" Mu Tangxue was stunned for a moment. Then she nodded. "I won't let you down, Dad." "Good. You're my good daughter." Papa Mu was very happy. He hugged Mu Tangxue and swayed her from side to side. From Papa Mu's point of view, Mu Qiqi was no longer a member of the Mu family since she left the Mu family. If Mu Tangxue couldn't even pass that troublemaker Mu Qiqi, he would lose face. Mu Tangshue's answer meant that she had a card up her sleeve. In that case, let's wait for the college entrance examination results to be announced. Mu Tangshue's recommendation did not go through because Xing Ting had blocked it. But this time, Mu Tangxue boldly filled in the best major in Xing Ting University as her first choice. In other words, she wanted to completely replace Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi also filled in the major that Xing Xiao had chosen for her. She had worked hard for too long for this goal. On the morning of June 25th, the National College Entrance Examination results were publicly available. Mu Qiqi sat nervously in front of the computer and entered her student number and ID number. But when the score appeared on the screen, it was very different from what she had imagined. Su Zipei saw the change in Mu Qiqi's expression and quickly went up to her. 598. Mu Qiqi had never gotten such a low score even if she randomly took the exam. "Qiqi, did you make a mistake? Why don't you check again?" Su Zipei asked Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi was patient and checked again. But the result was still the same. "It's impossible. I have calculated it conservatively. Even if I include the questions that I'm not confident in, it should be around 720. "Qiqi, don't worry. With this score you can't get into the best major in Xing Ting University." Mu Qiqi closed her eyes in despair. But at this moment she did not think about other reasons at all. Soon Xing Xiao received a call from Su Zipei. "Young Master Sheng, can I trouble you to persuade Qiqi?" "What happened?" Xing Xiao asked immediately. "The college entrance examination results will be announced today." But Qiqi, Xing Xiao could guess what was going on. So he said to Su Zipei, "I'll come over later." After hanging up, Xing Xiao turned to Jing Yun and said, "Go and check Qiqi's results." Everyone in Eton had high hopes for Mu Qiqi. But unexpectedly, her score was mediocre after the results were announced. Another thing that shocked everyone was Mu Tangxue. She actually got the third place in the entire country and the first place in Eton. Did the two sisters swap places during the exam? If it was just Mu Qiqi's low score, everyone would think that Mu Qiqi did not perform well in the exam. But Mu Tangxue, who usually could not even get into the top 30, suddenly got the third place in the entire country. Such an extraordinary performance was really suspicious. Qian went to the university to check the results. When she heard about the two things, she immediately called Mu Qiqi. "Qiqi, what's going on with your results?" "I don't know." Mu Qiqi stayed in her room. She felt helpless. Why did White Lotus Mu get the third place in the country? Mu Qiqi quickly got up from the bed. "Did you say that Mu Tangxue got the third place in the country?" "Yeah." "The university is in an uproar. What's going on?" "How many marks did she get?" 724. Mu Qiqi's heart skipped a beat and she understood at once. "Qian, you might not believe me, but I expected her to get around 720. Qian was taken aback. "I know what you mean. But it's the strictest exam. How could White Lotus Mu do it?" "Qian, I have to get to the bottom of this first." "All right. We'll talk later." Qian hung up. Meanwhile, Xing Xiao had also received news from Jing Yun that Mu Qiqi and Mu Tangshue's results had taken a complete reversal. That was why Xing Xiao went to the little mansion as promised in the afternoon. Mu Qiqi quickly went to Xing Xiao when she saw him, almost in tears. Xiao, if Mu Tangshue's results were as I expected, it should have been mine." Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and comforted her. "I won't let her get away with this easily. Mu Tangxue would even steal my results. How shameless is she? Then we'll turn her world upside down." "But, isn't it settled now that the results are announced?" Mu Qiqi was afraid that the matter would be left unsettled. "I've already asked Jing Yun to investigate the relevant personnel in the school and gather evidence. If Mu Tangxue really stole your results, I'll make her spit it out. I'll ruin her reputation even if the results can't be changed." Xiao, Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi, his heart aching for the little one. Was there even a need to say how despicable the Mu family was? Even funnier, the Mu family was still celebrating Mu Tongshue's results. Chapter 79. The vice principal of Eton was shocked when he heard about Mu Qiqi's results. He had seen most of Mu Qiqi's exam answers and they were definitely not like this. Moreover, Mu Qiqi was good at science subjects. But now that the results were out, it was obvious that she was at a disadvantage in science subjects. Was this Mu Qiqi's result? Obviously not. So, he was thinking about whether Mu Tongxue and Mu Qiqi's results were tampered with when they took back the exam papers. With this thought in mind, the vice principal Lu Wenhua went to the small mansion personally. Su Zipei thought that Lu Wenhua was looking for her. She wanted to reject him, but Lu Wenhua told her, "I have seen Mu Qiqi's exam papers. Her score is definitely higher than this." Su Zipei was touched. She could only let Lu Wenhua into the small mansion. Mu Qiqi was still calm. But, when she thought of Mu Tongxue, she felt hatred in her heart. "Qiqi, things are not clear yet. So you can't be flustered. I've seen your exam paper and it's indeed not this score. But, we need evidence. We need to figure out which part of the problem went wrong." "That's right," Qiqi said. "Also, 598 marks. Although it is not as high as 724 marks, it is higher than the admission requirement. But I have a suggestion for you. The Forensic Science Department of Xingting University is not any worse than the Engineering Department of Xingting University. Every year there will be a second admission. But, because of the special nature of the profession, there are always not enough people. It is called the makeup. If you have the courage to choose, forensic science is also a cool profession. Of course, it is just a suggestion. We must not let the bad guys get what they want. At the same time, we must pull ourselves together. After all, an outstanding person will shine no matter what position they are in. And the despicable people will be despised by the world." Mu Qiqi finally raised her head after hearing Lu Wenhua's suggestion. Her eyes were filled with tears. Because Lu Wenhua was right. "Thank you, Principal Lu. I will help you. Justice will also help you. Don't worry. The bad guys will pay the price." Su Zipei was standing behind the two of them. After hearing what Lu Wenhua said, she was touched. Actually, she knew that this man was different from the scumbag before. He was honest and kind. She just did not dare to try it again. Then Lu Wenhua left the villa and let Mu Qiqi think about it herself. Of course, the most important thing now was to figure out when Mu Tongxue had swapped her exam papers. As for the forensic science faculty, she had to consider it carefully. At this time, Su Zipei looked at Mu Qiqi with a pained expression. She had worked so hard for a year, but she did not expect that her results would be stolen so easily. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi seemed to have grown up a lot overnight. Her mental endurance seemed to have been greatly expanded. Because she knew that being depressed now would not change anything. Her greatest goal now was to make Mu Tongxue pay the price. In fact, there were quite a lot of rumors in school. After all, it was understandable that Mu Qiqi performed poorly in exams, but Mu Tongshue's performance was extraordinary? It was unbelievable. Moreover, the two sisters had always had a grudge against each other. Now their results had changed dramatically. That was why Mu Tongshue's true results were being questioned. Mu Tongxue probably did not expect Mu Qiqi to do so well in the exams, did she? Third in the country, first in Eton. Even if she used all her skills, she would not be able to wear such a hat, nor would she be able to withstand such doubts. That was why Mu Tongxue was nervous even as she was praised. Because it was too obvious. But the Mu family had taken turns to praise her. She could not back down now. Moreover, who could prove that her results were Mu Qiqi's? As long as she insisted on it, it would be useless no matter how many doubts there were. Everything was settled. Even if Mu Qiqi wanted to fight back, there was nothing she could do. "Shue, you did so well this time. Grandpa has rewarded you too. He has transferred 5% of Mu Group's shares to your name. Shouldn't you thank Grandpa?" Mu Tongxue took the phone from Mama Mu and thanked her grandpa, because she knew what 5% of shares meant. No matter what, the results had brought her too many benefits. Even if Mu Qiqi wanted to fight to the death, she would not give in. It was her result. It was hers. Late at night, Xing Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to her new home as usual. However, there was no joy on her face. Xing Xiao knew very well what this little one had gone through. He felt sorry for her too. So, he carried Mu Qiqi to the bedroom and put her on the bed. Then he said, "Jing Yun has found out who was the teacher who collected the papers. But now, Mu Qiqi's total score is 598. Xiao Xiao, I can't get into the best department and become your junior." Mu Qiqi's tears flowed out of her eyes after she said that. But she stubbornly wiped them away. Do you really have to enter that department? Did I say that? But that's my goal. It's what I've been working towards. Your goal is me, silly? Can't you see the future clearly with me around? Then Xing Xiao kissed Mu Qiqi on her lips. Lu Wenhua came. I know. He's really looking out for you. You can accept him as your uncle. I can't accept it. It's impossible for Mu Tongxue to enter Shengting University. Don't even think about it. Xing Xiao told her the answer firmly. I will make sure that she will never be able to enter Shengting University in this life or in the next life. Little one, let those people be proud of themselves and laugh at them. In the end, she will know what it feels like to fall from heaven to hell. She dares to bully my woman. I will let her know what it feels like to be in a state where she can neither live nor die. Then Xing Xiao kissed Mu Qiqi hard. He used all his strength to comfort her broken heart. When did the crown prince ever try to please others? Now he was doing it. Because he knew very well how important this little one was to him. Mu Qiqi trusted Xing Xiao. So she could not sleep for a few days. Finally, she fell asleep under his comfort. Then Xing Xiao got up and rushed to the Lu family. It was because he had promised Lu Wenhua that they would work together to investigate the cause and effect of this incident. Young Master Sheng, we need to start from these aspects. First, we need to check if the teacher who was in charge of receiving and distributing the exam papers was bribed. Second, we need to get Mu Qiqi's exam papers and Mu Tongshua's notes to verify them. But after the exam papers are marked, they will be stored and destroyed. So this is not a good idea. As long as we get the evidence, although Mu Tongshua's results are already set in stone, we can avenge her. At least we cannot let Mu Tongshua's scheme succeed. Chapter 80. Ever since Mu Tongxue stole her results, Mu Qiqi had become much quieter. She did not smile at all. Su Zipei was very anxious. Qiqi, just tell me what's wrong. Don't keep it in your heart. I feel so sad when I see you being so quiet. Su Zipei could not help but comfort Mu Qiqi. The Mu family is really despicable. How could they steal our results? If I could kill Mu Tongxue, I really want to end all my troubles. But I can't become like Mu Tongxue. And I am fine. Don't worry. Mu Qiqi looked at Su Zipei and forced a smile. Why don't you go out with Chan Chan for a few days? Mu Qiqi did not have the mood to play now. Mu Tongxue had snatched her results, which was equivalent to snatching her life and future. How could she go out and have fun at a time like this? She will go to my place these 2 days. Xing Xiao suddenly appeared in the small villa. He said to Su Zipei and Mu Qiqi, I am working with Principal Lu to investigate the exam papers. I need her cooperation. Xing Xiao's reason was reasonable. Su Zipei was not worried. All right, young Master Sheng. I will have to trouble you for the next few days. Mu Qiqi was not as excited as she used to be now that she could live in her new home openly. She became very calm and did not like to talk. Lu Wenhua and I have already asked the teacher who was in charge of you and Mu Tongshue's exam room. It is not the right time to take action yet. We need to get the results of your notes first. Didn't you say that the exam papers will be destroyed in the future? Mu Qiqi asked Xing Xiao. The secret room was stolen once in a while. We don't have enough evidence. So the higher-ups can't do anything about it. Xing Xiao answered her directly. The exam papers are in the appraisal office now. So soon. Every time Mu Tongxue laughs, it's a heart-wrenching pain for you. Do you think I would drag it out for long? Xing Xiao asked in return. Mu Tongxue would only suffer worse when she sees you like this. Xiao Xiao, I have thought about what Uncle Lu said. I don't have the energy to study for another year and I don't want to miss the chance to enter Shengting University. So, I can really enter the forensic science faculty. I'll let Mu Tongxue know that I can shine just as brightly as her results. It's just that I couldn't become your junior sister as I wished. I'm very sorry. Idiot, as long as you enter Shengting University, you will still be my junior. Moreover, you will be my woman. What's so important about a junior? Xing Xiao drove the car into the parking lot of the new house and carried Mu Qiqi into the living room. One more thing. The Mu family is planning to hold a banquet to celebrate Mu Tongshue's college entrance examination. What do you think? After I get the admission letter from Shengting University. Then I'll have to congratulate him personally? Mu Qiqi laughed self-deprecatingly. Before that, I'll prepare the testimonies of the 2 witnesses and the results of the test. You'll have to give Mu Tongxue a huge gift then. At that, Mu Chichi wrapped her arms around his neck and buried her face in his neck. After that, Lu Wenhua went to the small villa again. But this time Mu Chichi was not there. Su Zipei did not avoid Lu Wenhua like before. Instead, she asked him about the progress of the investigation. Zipei, don't worry. Young Master Sheng and I have planned everything carefully. So, the truth will come to light sooner or later. But you and Mu Tongxue must be mentally prepared. Because even if we can prove that Mu Tongxue switched Mu Tongshue's exam papers, the 724 marks will not belong to Mu Tongxue anymore. Because no one can guarantee that the exam papers were not tampered with. The only way is to let Mu Tongxue take the college entrance examination again. The Mu family is too cruel. After hearing Lu Wenhua's words, Su Zipei could not help but cry. To them, destroying a person is just a whim. It's just a decision they make on a whim. Don't worry. We'll get justice for Mu Tongxue. Then, can't Mu Tongxue get into the best university? I've told you before that forensic science is the most important university for Mu Tongxue. The education department will not recognize Mu Tongshue's results. But they will keep her current marks. But forensic science? Doesn't she have to deal with corpses all the time? She's just a girl. You need to change your way of thinking. According to Mu Tongshue's current condition, she can't go into business. But she can go into politics. It's also a way for her to protect herself. Su Zipei felt that what Lu Wenhua said made sense. Then she said, I'll let Mu Tongxue think about it. Then that's all for today. I'll go and ask the people from the appraisal department. Xing Xiao was the one who gave him the exam papers. Although he did not know when Xing Xiao sent someone to infiltrate the confidential room, it was not an urgent matter anymore. If the higher-ups wanted to pursue the matter, he would bear all the consequences. Then Xing Xiao and Lu Wenhua went to the appraisal department. They gave each other Mu Chichi's daily notes, exam papers, and Mu Tongshue's daily notes and exam papers. After comparing the notes with the professionals, they finally came to a conclusion. Firstly, the names on these two college entrance exams have been altered. They used the most advanced correction potion to alter the names without leaving a trace. Currently, this kind of thing is almost impossible to buy in the market. It can be found overseas, but it costs a lot of money. Secondly, the notes in these two exam papers are very similar. The similarity is 70%. After comparing the notes with Mu Tongshue's daily notes, we found that one of the two exam papers has been forged. But there are many traces of forgery in one of the exam papers. And this forgery is very similar to Mu Tongshue's notes. No matter how a person imitates, no matter how well he or she imitates, he or she will not be able to change his or her habit of using his or her pen. So, after comparing the two exam papers, we found that they were swapped. And in order to confuse the public, Mu Tongxue even practiced Mu Chichi's notes. This can be seen from her sudden change in writing habits. Actually, it's a very clumsy method. If Mu Chichi did not do so well in the exam, she might not even realize it herself. She might really think that she did something wrong in the exam. But Mu Chichi got the third place in the entire country. Lu Wenhua told the staff from the appraisal department. I'm afraid Mu Tongxue did not think about it too. Because she prepared for the exam seriously. Otherwise, she would not have passed the admission requirements of Shengting University. Chapter 81. Now that we have the results, young Master Sheng, I will leave the rest to you, Lu Wenhua said to Xing Xiao. Lu Wenhua was referring to the two invigilators. To be specific, there were 4 of them, 1 main invigilator and 1 assistant invigilator. Mu Tongxue and Mu Chichi were in different exam rooms. If they wanted to exchange the exam papers, the invigilators would definitely collude with them. It all depended on how the invigilators were going to explain themselves. The main goal now was to find out who the 2 main invigilators were. Xing Xiao nodded. Leave it to me. I'm good at dealing with scumbags. Since there was an act of bribery, most people would naturally react and investigate the bank account. But now many people knew to be cautious and use cash or checks. Cash could be hidden indefinitely, while checks could be exchanged after the commotion died down. So, the 2 main invigilators were not that stupid. Even if they had a huge sum of money, they would not let others know. If they wanted to get the 2 to testify, they must have something on them. If they wanted to get something on them, they must find their weakness. Out of the 2 of them, one of them was very honest. He went to school as usual every day. His life was always between school and home. However, he had a daughter who was sick. The other teacher was a womanizer. He loved to drink. Lu Wenhua thought that Xing Xiao would look for the drunkard because he seemed to have a lot of flaws. But Sheng Xiao did not waste his time on the drunkard. Instead, he investigated the good father. He wanted to know what kind of illness his daughter had, how serious it was, and how many surgeries she had undergone. In the end, Jing Yun told him that his daughter had congenital heart disease. She was waiting in line for resources. With this information, Sheng Xiao whispered to Jing Yun, "Go to the hospital. Do this." Lu Wenhua looked at Sheng Xiao confusedly. "Why don't you look for the drunkard? Do you think I want to do something to his daughter?" Sheng Xiao sneered and shook his head. "Principal Lu, am I such a despicable person in your heart?" "Look, it's just a rumor." Lu Wenhua smiled awkwardly. "I just asked Jing Yun to contact the medical staff and tell the good father that his daughter is going to undergo surgery soon. What do you think he will do if he is anxious?" Lu Wenhua was enlightened. Indeed, the crown prince was the one who had to do this. A normal person would never think of using that seriously ill girl. However, from the moment this good father did something bad, this man was not worthy of sympathy. That was why Sheng Xiao had no scruples. Let's wait and see. As long as one side confesses, the other side can't deny it even if they want to. These few days Mu Qiqi stayed in her new home. But she was still not energetic. She knew that Sheng Xiao and Lu Wenhua were busy with her. But she still needed some time to get over the pain she was feeling. That was why Mu Qiqi stayed at home, imagining how she would appear on the day of Mu Tongshua's gathering to give her the biggest surprise. Moreover, Xiao Xiao had not closed his eyes for a few days. It made Mu Qiqi feel guilty and urged her to pull herself together. Although, the pain caused by the Mu family really made her feel as if she was going to destroy the world. Late that night, Sheng Xiao returned to his new home, travel-worn. He wanted to tell Mu Qiqi that he had found the evidence. The doctor lied to the man and said that he needed 1.5 million for the surgery. The man was so scared that his face turned pale. After that, he made a few phone calls in the corridor. There were signs of an argument. But in the end he went to the bank and cashed the check. Jing Yun took a photo of everything, including the check with your mother's name on it. After that, Jing Yun took the evidence and went to the man. Guess what he wanted to do? He wanted to save his daughter first. What a kind father he is. Unfortunately, his daughter did not need the surgery at all. Jing Yun would never forget that scene for the rest of his life. The man wanted to jump off the building, but Jing Yun stopped him. What do you think your death is worth? Your family will lose their source of income from now on. The truth will be buried in the sea. Then, the person whose result was changed by you will never get justice in his life. Do you think your death is worth it? The man hesitated. I promise I won't call the police. I just want you to tell me the truth. Moreover, I will take care of your daughter's medical expenses forever. I can sign the paper so that you can rest assured. Seeing that Jing Yun had given him so many benefits, the man finally sat on the floor and burst into tears. I really didn't do it on purpose. It's my first time doing such a thing. According to the man, he was in charge of the exam room where Mu Tongxue was. Then, he made an agreement with the chief examiner of the other exam room to exchange the exam papers and share the spoils with the teacher of the same exam room. The names of the exam papers had been changed beforehand. So, the difficulty for them was how to exchange the exam papers. The truth had been revealed. But Mu Qiqi did not feel happy at all. Because Mu Tongxue was still laughing. Moreover, the result of exchanging the exam papers had been done. The damage to her had been done. Now, only by making Mu Tongxue pay the price could she completely calm the fire in her heart. Sheng Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi's indifferent face. Then he put all the evidence in front of her. These are all for you. Moreover, Jing Yun has found out which hotel the Mu family booked. When the time comes, you can enjoy the big screen. This time you must fight well in this battle. It must have been hard, right? Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao, her heart aching. You're the crown prince, but you ran around for a little girl like me. You didn't even sleep for a few nights. Sheng Xiao knew that she would not calm down before she vented her anger. That was why he simply pinched her cheeks and got close to her. You know you owe me? As for the compensation, wait until I'm done with Mu Tongxue. No, Xiao Xiao. It's the entire Mu family. Since they can turn my life upside down, let's fight to the death. I won't let anyone from the Mu family off. I will return all the grievances and grudges. Since they won't let me have it easy, no one can have their way. That was probably the biggest release Mu Qiqi had been holding back all this while. Sheng Xiao laughed out loud when he saw how insolent and arrogant she was. Chapter 82. It was the middle of July at the 5-star Crown Resort Hotel. The Mu family was going to hold a celebration for Mu Tangxue that night. They wanted to congratulate her for her excellent results and her admission into the best university in Shengting University. At 6 o'clock, the guests arrived one after another. Apart from Papa Mu's business friends, the Mu family was there too. No matter if they were jealous or envious of Mu Tangxue, they couldn't let anyone take advantage of them. Papa Mu was all smiles tonight. He was proud of Mu Tangshue's results. Everyone was envious and praised him. Mama Mu was smiling too. She was wearing a long black dress and was adorned with jewels and diamonds. She looked noble and elegant. As for Mu Tangxue, she was the little princess of the night. She was wearing a purple halter dress, which made her look a little charming. After all, she was an adult, and Mama Mu did not stop her from dressing like a little girl. Seo Mu like father like daughter. Mu Tangxue is so outstanding. I'm so envious. That's right. As a congratulatory gift, I've prepared a big gift for my niece. Then third uncle gave her a bunch of car keys. A Ferrari for my niece. Perfect. A beautiful car for a beautiful woman. Thank you, third uncle. Mu Tangxue held the keys. She was very excited. It was because she had gotten the admission letter from Shengting University. It meant that it was too late for Mu Qiqi to know the truth now. Tangxue is so promising. Her grandmother loves her so much since she was young. Grandpa Mu was sitting on the high seat. He held his walking stick and waved at Mu Tangxue. Shua, come to me. Grandpa. Mu Tangxue walked to him. I've prepared a big gift for you too. Then Grandpa Mu gestured to the lawyer beside him. Read it. It's like this. Miss Mu is now an adult. Moreover, she has obtained such excellent results in her exams. So, Chairman Mu has decided to transfer 5% of Mu Group's shares to Miss Mu Tangxue. He hopes that she can grow up quickly and contribute to Mu Group. Even Papa Mu only owned 12% of the shares. Now Mu Tangxue owned 5%. How enviable was that? Of course Papa Mu was the happiest. Because Mu Tangxue could not manage the shares with her current ability. She needed him as her father. What an honor! I'm so envious. Look at other people's daughters. Mu Tangxue was the center of attention tonight, and the Mu family had completely forgotten that Mu Qiqi was still there. Under the luxurious chandelier and the melodious vintage music, no one mentioned Mu Qiqi's name. It was as if she had never appeared and did not exist in this world. Shue, it's a happy night. Why don't you go up there and say a few words to thank everyone for their support? Papa Mu reminded. Mu Tangxue nodded. At that moment she was like a proud little princess. She had everything now, whether it was her grades, her position in the Mu family, or the shares of the Mu family. She had everything. Then Mu Tangxue walked to the stage. But just as she was about to step on the stage, a staff member came to her with a gift box. Miss Mu, someone has brought you a gift. Mu Tangxue quickly caught the exquisite gift box. Who gave it to you? A secret guest. She asked you to sign for it. She will be here soon, the staff answered politely. Mu Tangxue did not think much about it. She immediately signed for the gift. But she did not know who would be so thoughtful as to wrap it so beautifully. Shue, hurry up and open it. It might be one of your admirers. Mama Mu quickly said. She was very curious. That's right. The guests started to cheer. Mu Tangxue nodded and smiled as she opened the brocade box. However, her face paled the moment the box was opened. Mama Mu saw that she was not right. She quickly asked, "What's wrong?" Mu Tangxue put the box away guiltily. But Mama Mu took it from her. "What's this?" There was nothing else. It was just the appraisal report of the 2 test papers. Mama Mu put it away too. Her face turned pale too. "It's nothing. It's just a prank." "What prank?" Papa Mu snatched it away. He was about to open the box when Mama Mu begged him. "Hubby, don't open it. Please, Dad, it's a private gift. Let me go home and open it." Mu Tangxue tried to smooth things over. Right at this moment, a figure walked out from the crowd. She was wearing a blue starry sky short skirt. Her figure was skinny, but her eyes were sharp, carrying with them an extreme coldness. More importantly, she looked almost the same as Mu Tangxue. But her temperament was completely different. If Mu Tangxue was a delicate rose, Mu Qiqi was a dangerous black rose at that very moment. How could an 18-year-old girl be so intimidating? This was really surprising. "It's my gift. Why don't you dare to open it?" Mu Qiqi slowly walked towards the crowd and asked the Mu family. "Or are you afraid?" When Mu Tangxue saw Mu Qiqi, she quickly went up to her. Sister, this is not the time for jokes. But Muchichi pushed her away. Who's your sister? Do you think of me as your sister? Mama Mu stepped forward as well, but before she could reach Muchichi, Muchichi turned to face the guests. Let me tell you what this present I've given you is. I believe many of you here have children studying at Eton. You must have heard about Mu Tongshua's results and why she could perform so well. Muchichi, you didn't do well. Can't you let others do well? Mu Tongshua quickly gained the upper hand. I know what the school thinks of me. But this is my real results. It has nothing to do with you. Is that so? Muchichi smiled. Then she pointed at the box in Papa Mu's hand with her chin. Do you dare to open the box and show everyone what's inside? Don't make trouble out of nothing. Muchichi glared at Mu Tongshua with determination and disgust. Then she walked up to Papa Mu and took the box from him. She opened it in front of everyone, but Mu Tongshua snatched it away from him. In the process, the report fell beside the guest's feet. The guests bent down to pick it up and read its contents. What does it say? One of the guests asked. Chapter 83. All the guests looked at each other when the results were out. What's going on? The guests asked. The daughters of the Mu family had always been a couple. But recently, they heard that something had happened to the eldest daughter of the Mu family. Rumor had it that the Mu family refused to admit it. It seemed that the banquet today had confirmed that. But why did Muchichi suddenly appear with the report? What was going on? Let me tell you what's going on. Muchichi walked down the stage and took the report from the guests. Then she faced the crowd. This report shows that Mu Tongshua's exam papers and mine have been swapped. And Mu Tongshua even copied my notes to confuse the public. You're lying. Mu Tongshua was hysterical. I'm lying? Mu Tongshua, this time I won't give you any chance to make a comeback. I've already sent the original version of the report and the exam paper to the Ministry of Education. Did you change my exam paper? The Ministry of Education will give me an answer. Otherwise, how could a person who can't even get into the top 30 in the country suddenly get the third place? You? How can you do that? And you never liked science subjects. So, your comprehensive science scores were always lagging behind. What? Did you get full marks in all subjects? Muchichi's voice was loud and heavy. She was trembling because she was trying to control the anger in her heart. Security. Security. Papa Mu saw that the situation was not right. He wanted to get someone to chase Muchichi away. But Muchichi smiled and said to him, Don't worry, Mr. Mu. I will settle the score later. If you want to chase me away without waiting for me to settle the score, I will not care about what happened to Grandma anymore. When the time comes, the whole country will know about it. Don't blame me for not greeting you here. At that moment, Muchichi was like the incarnation of hatred. Because every word she said was like a sharp knife. She did not leave any leeway for anyone. She wanted to expose the truth and force everyone into a life-and-death struggle. Papa Mu looked at Muchichi in shock. But he could not do anything to her. Let's get back to Mu Tongshua. You swapped my exam papers and stole my life. How can you accept someone else's gift? Do you think you can accuse me of swapping the exam papers just because of the report? Where's the evidence? Muchichi, do you think it's that easy to cheat? Mu Tongshua stood beside Mama Mu and screamed hysterically. She no longer had the gentleness of a princess. He had become like a clown. Teacher Yuan from exam room 12 and Teacher Deng from exam room 16. You and Mrs. Mu should remember them, right? Nonsense, I don't even know the teachers in Schwerer's school. Mama Mu completely dissociated herself. You couldn't beat your sister in the exam and you're spreading rumors here. How shameless. You don't know me, okay? Muchichi smiled. Then she said to the hotel manager, Can I trouble you to turn on the super large screen in your hotel? I really can't wait. Since Xing Xiao had arranged it beforehand, the hotel was very cooperative. They immediately turned on the big screen in the hotel and were ready to show the video Xing Xiao had given them. Mu Tongshua, Mrs. Mu, I'll give you one last chance. Do you admit that you bribed the invigilator to switch my exam papers? Giving birth to a daughter like you is the biggest humiliation of my life. Mama Mu hugged Mu Tongshua and snorted coldly. Okay. Muchichi nodded. She did not intend to give them another chance. She immediately asked the staff to show the video. Then a figure appeared on the big screen. It was one of the main examiners, the good father. He recorded the video. Mrs. Mu contacted me a few times. The first time she offered me $1 million. But I thought it was too risky, so I rejected her. Later she used my daughter's illness to persuade me. She gave me a check of $3 million. So I agreed. Moreover, I covered for each other with the assistant examiner in the same exam room. After everything was done, I gave him $500,000 in cash. We swapped Mu Qiqi and Mu Tongshua's exam papers. At first, I thought that as long as Mu Tongxue did better than Mu Qiqi, I would have completed the mission. I did not expect Mu Qiqi to get the third place in the entire country. When the results were announced, I thought that perhaps this day would come. The teacher in the video looked very miserable. He was even crying. But it still gave Mu Tongxue a chance to struggle. Do you think that you can get into Xingting University just because you bribed the teacher and slandered me? Sister, it's too late. Xingting University's acceptance letter is already here. Whether it's slander or not, I've already called the police. The police have the evidence, the check, whatever you want. The Mu family can't do whatever they want. Do you think that you can scare me? Mu Tongxue showed her strong mentality. She was not scared by Mu Qiqi at all. I think that I should be the one to call the police. Obviously, Mu Tongxue was not willing to be suppressed by Mu Qiqi. And Mu Qiqi would not lower her head to Mu Tongxue. At that moment, Papa Mu finally said, "Enough. This farce was really enough. Mu Qiqi, is that all you can do? A fine banquet was turned into such a mess by you. What a disgrace." To Papa Mu, he thought that Mu Qiqi was just throwing a tantrum and joking. He thought that Mu Qiqi was just unwilling to admit defeat. When Mu Tongxue saw Papa Mu standing in front of her, she became even more confident. "Sister, your show is over. Can you get lost now? Mu Qiqi, leave now. Your father is not going to pursue this matter." Just look at the Mu family's courage in refusing to admit even in death. Their act of covering one's ears while stealing a bell was simply too shameless. Still, this time Mu Qiqi would not be fooled by this family. Because the police arrived soon. The police entered the hotel and asked everyone, "Who is Madame Su Ziqing?" Mama Mu's face changed instantly. "Uncle, this is her." Mu Qiqi pointed at Mama Mu and said to the police, "You're suspected of bribery. Come with us." After the police said that, they took out their handcuffs and tried to put them on Mama Mu. But Mama Mu grabbed Papa Mu and begged for mercy. "Hubby, I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you arresting me? Stop acting. Otherwise, I'll charge you for obstructing public service." The short police officer shouted at Mama Mu. Then he ordered his subordinates to bring Mama Mu away. "Hubby, save me. You, Mu Tongxue and Mu Qiqi are coming to the police station to help with the investigation." Before the police took Mama Mu away, they told Mu Qiqi, "Don't be afraid, child. We will fight for the justice you want." "Thank you, officer," Mu Qiqi said with tears in her eyes. "Come to the police station after you're done here," the officer told Mu Qiqi. Chapter 84. Mu Tongxue, are you going to continue? The Education Bureau, the police, Eton, Xingting University, and even the whole country who care about education will be watching you. Are you going to continue to be stubborn? At that time, the news will know about it. Everything about you will be uncovered. Third in the country? You won't just be the third place in the country tomorrow. I will make you the first place in the country. Mu Tongxue shook her head after hearing what Mu Qiqi said. She denied it. "Sister, do you think you can lie to me? I didn't change your exam paper. I will never admit it. If I did, I will be struck by lightning." Then Mu Tongxue went forward and grabbed Papa Mu's shirt. "Dad, believe me. These are my results. I didn't change my sister's exam paper. But the evidence was out. The police had come to arrest them." Mu Tongxue was still lying to herself. The guests could see it clearly. Especially the elders of the Mu family. They felt embarrassed. So they said to Papa Mu, "Second brother, I don't know what to say. Do as you see fit." The relatives took the opportunity to leave the hotel. Because they could not afford to be humiliated. "How could you do something like changing your sister's exam paper? You're crazy. How could you steal your sister's exam paper? I'm afraid the Mu family is going to be infamous this time. You can't judge a book by its cover. You even set your sister up." All around them, the angry voices of the guests were like sharp knives stabbing into Mu Tongxue's heart. "You are all talking nonsense. I didn't change Mu Qiqi's exam paper. She is the one who framed me." Mu Tongxue ran to Grandpa Mu and knelt down. "Grandpa, you have to uphold justice for me. Grandpa, I really didn't change my exam paper. I did it myself." Grandpa Mu held his walking stick. His expression was stern and his eyes were cold. He looked at Mu Qiqi from afar and asked, "Qiqi, are you trying to take revenge on the Mu family?" Are you trying to frame your sister because you are not happy about being kicked out of the family? If that's the case, you should come for me. Why do you have to hurt your sister? It's been so many years. I never thought that you would even be concerned about her college entrance exam results. Everything that happened here today, I don't believe it at all. If you didn't do this to retaliate against the Wuxia, then why would you do this? Why did you have to choose such a day to make this public? What education bureau? What police station? It's just a bluff. After the police station investigates the matter, I believe that they will definitely give my granddaughter justice. As for you, you've embarrassed the Mu clan. In this life, don't even think about stepping into the Mu clan's door. The guests are dismissed. Before the evidence is out, I'll only believe what my granddaughter says. With that, he pulled Mu Tangxue to her feet. Still, that was within Mu Qiqi's expectations. The Mu family would never admit that they were cunning. Grandpa, thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Don't be afraid. Grandpa has a lawyer by his side. Little heed this matter. Help me deal with it. The lawyer next to Grandpa Mu saw the situation with his own eyes. So, he had a pair of sharp eyes, especially when he saw the report and the police. So, he knew very well whether Mu Tangxue had swapped the exam papers or not. But because Grandpa Mu was his employer, he could not reject Grandpa Mu's request. As a lawyer, he should have a bottom line. So, lawyer, he told Grandpa Mu honestly, Grandpa, based on the evidence that Mu Qiqi has presented, the Education Bureau and the police station are very likely to say that Miss Mu changed the exam papers. So, I think that the Mu family should think of a way to settle this matter instead of going against Mu Qiqi. Otherwise, it will not benefit the Mu family at all. But I didn't change her exam papers. Mu Tangxue refused to give in. Moreover, the admission letter from Xingting University has been issued. I will be able to enter the best university soon. When the guests left, Su Zipei was ordered by Xing Xiao to tell Mu Qiqi about the latest announcement from the Education Bureau and the results of the announcement from Xingting University. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she quickly turned on her phone. She saw the response from the Education Department. She walked in front of Mu Tangxue and showed her the phone. The Education Department has already announced that your results have been cancelled. Xingting University has also sent out a notice overnight to withdraw your admission. Tomorrow the whole Jianchuan will know that you changed my exam papers. Mu Tangxue, if you kneel in front of the Mu family now, they will not be able to protect you. You want to enter Xingting University? Not even in your next life. Then Mu Qiqi continued to speak to the Mu family. I know that you have always favored Mu Tangxue since you were young. So, even at this time, you are still deceiving yourself. I don't blame you. But, Grandpa, Dad, ask yourselves, what have I received from the Mu family for so many years? Have you ever cared about me? You beat and scold me at every turn. It seems that I am an unnecessary existence in your eyes. If that is the case, why did you give birth to me? Since you can sacrifice me for your own benefit, it is fine. Now, I can only harm the benefit that you care about the most. So, don't blame me for what I did today. It is you who did not treat me as a human first. After saying that, Mu Qiqi returned to Mu Tangxue. She stared at her fiercely. The Mu Qiqi that you bullied in the past has been completely destroyed by you this time. Since the day the results were announced, I was crying in the corner while you were laughing on the stage. From that moment onwards, I swore that I will see you lose your reputation. There will be no place for you in Jianchuan. You can continue to tell others that you did not change my exam papers. When the whole world knows about this, you see, at that moment, Dad and Grandpa behind you will only give you the loudest slap in the face. Mu Tangxue, I am looking forward to that moment. After saying that, Mu Qiqi wiped her tears away. She pretended to be strong. Also, I have never wanted to return to the Mu family. But I will remember every single thing that the Mu family did to me. Seeing that Mu Tangxue's body was about to collapse, Mu Qiqi turned around. I'm done. I will see you at the police station later. After saying that, Mu Qiqi walked away with determined steps. The more wounds there were, the more hatred there was. Chapter 85. Soon the guests left the hotel. Only the members of the Mu family were left, especially Mu Tangxue, who was squatting on the floor. She was sobbing uneasily. She looked weak and helpless. Papa Mu did not care about his daughter. He said to his assistant, "Let's go to the police station first." Then he left. He was very disappointed with the two sisters. The news would be published tomorrow. So, it was better for him to go back to the company to prepare for it instead of comforting them. Then Grandpa Mu helped Mu Tongxue to stand up. He looked at his son walking away and said to the lawyer, "Lawyer let's go to the police station together. I will take care of that bastard." "Yes, Grandpa Mu." The Mu family became lively after the news came out. Mama Mu kept claiming that she was innocent after she was brought to the police station. She did not cooperate with the investigation at all. The police could not stand it anymore. "Let me tell you, Madam Su. The Ministry of Education has announced that you will be severely punished if you do not cooperate with the investigation on bribing the examiner. 3 million. It's 2 million in total. Do you know that it's a serious crime to bribe more than 10,000? Do you know how many years you will be sentenced to? You are still trying to defend yourself. The victim has already provided important evidence. The only reason you're sitting here is to fight for a reduced sentence for yourself, but you're still not cooperating." Mama Mu was shocked. She quickly took her phone. "No, I want to hire a lawyer. Do whatever you want. But the evidence that the police have is very comprehensive. You will not be able to escape even if you hire a lawyer." Soon Mu Chichi arrived at the police station. She was going to provide the police with detailed evidence and her statement. Soon, Grandpa Mu brought Mu Tongxue to the police station. The police looked at the two sisters. They felt that the world was full of strange things. Some twins were inseparable. Some twins tried to kill each other. But they had never seen twins killing each other like this. Of course, Mu Chichi was the victim. She deserved more sympathy from the police. But they still handled the case according to the law. They were just a little gentler to Mu Chichi. "Both of you, please come here and record your statements." Mu Tongxue looked angry, wronged, and scared. "Lawyer go in and comfort Tongxue." Grandpa Mu was really biased. The police could not help patting Mu Chichi's shoulder. "Little girl, we will definitely clear your name. Now that things are clear, just wait for the results." Mu Chichi nodded. Although she felt wronged, she insisted on finishing her statement and left the interrogation room. When Mu Chichi returned to the main hall, she saw Grandpa Mu. He was asking about Mama Mu's condition. The policeman answered him directly, "Grandpa, I'm afraid Madame Su can't go home for the time being. She is suspected of bribery. The amount involved is huge. I'm afraid she won't be able to leave easily. The evidence is already in the final stage. You should go home. It's already so late. Take care of yourself." Grandpa Mu frowned when he heard that. It was because he realized that Mu Chichi was not the one who framed Mu Tongxue. "Officer, my little girl has been wronged. Grandpa, the Education Bureau will not get involved if she is wronged. Moreover, the police will investigate it overnight. The impact of this incident is too big. Please go home." Grandpa Mu was stunned for a moment. Then he seemed to wake up. He looked at Mu Chichi, who was not far away, with a complicated expression. Then Mu Tongxue came out of the interrogation room in tears. Grandpa Mu said to her, "Shue, the police are serious now. You should tell me the truth." Mu Tongxue was already scared. She could only pretend to faint when Grandpa Mu asked her. Seeing that she had fainted, Grandpa Mu asked Lawyer to carry her. "Send her to the hospital." Then he walked up to Mu Chichi with his walking stick and said, "Do you really have to be so calculative about it? Are you willing to destroy the Mu family?" "I believe in the regenerative ability of the Mu family. It's not something that I can destroy. Secondly, when you said that, did you think that you would stand in my shoes and defend me? We are both born in the Mu family. It's only right that Mu Tongxue stole my results." What? Having said that, Mu Chichi turned around and walked out of the police station. Grandpa Mu sighed deeply. He trusted Mu Tongxue so much. He did not believe in any evidence. He was afraid that Mu Tongxue would be wronged and framed. But his granddaughter was not as simple as he thought. The scariest thing was that tomorrow would be the day after. Because it would be a heavy blow to the Mu family and the Mu group once it was exposed. So they should not have provoked Mu Chichi in the first place. They should have begged her to let it go. But it was too late now. That night was the result of Xing Zhao's training for Mu Chichi. She had the courage to stand in front of everyone and say those words because she had rehearsed it in front of Xing Zhao. But when they walked out of the police station, Mu Chichi suddenly squatted down. She felt helpless. At that moment, Xing Zhao's tall figure appeared on the other side of the road. He crossed the red light and walked towards Mu Chichi. Then he picked her up. Mu Chichi hugged Xing Zhao's neck. She cried loudly in the noisy traffic. "Xiao, I am so sad." Xing Zhao put her in the car. Then, he hugged her head and let her bury her head in his arms. "So what if you have no family? Am I not better than your father or your mother? Did you see how Mu Tongxue tried to argue? She even tried to run away." You are great today. You are really great. Xing Xiao kissed Muqiqi's head. Then he brought her back to the small mansion. Little one, you have gotten what you wanted. Mu Tongxue will never be able to enter Xingting University again. She will never be able to enter Xingting University again. Moreover, tomorrow will be a truly difficult day for the Mu clan. At that moment Muqiqi had mixed feelings. Because the person she was tearing apart was Mu Tongxue, Mama Mu and all her family. But all of this was because she was forced into a corner. And just you wait. Your father will come and apologize to you. He will beg you to come back to the Mu family. Because that was the only way Papa Mu could appease the public. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.